pressure on that spell, but you also know in football that, you know, you never know when you turn the corner, and that can be tonight. A big belief because, again, the underlying things are much better the last 5-6 games.
I was just going to ask you on the Romero situation. I mean, I know he's not involved tonight, but just not dropping him out of the captaincy, but is it something you might look at? He's trying too hard sometimes on the pitch, you know, because he's the captain, he's the leader, and he wants to put tackles in. Maybe he shouldn't have, perhaps sometimes. Is that something you have to think about in the future, maybe?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, he's a player that is so passionate and play with such big aggressivity. So sometimes then you get on the wrong side of things, no doubt about that. But of course, it's something he needs to look into. Now he can't run away from the 6 red cards, and also the way we are. So he needs to work with that, of course.
Yeah.
Thomas, we've got the way you started at the end of the game against Man City and the way you started against Manchester United. Will you be looking for that sort of fast start again tonight?
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt there will be, I think, a high-paced game. Both teams will go high in the pressure, man-man. Both go very aggressive, but I also think both teams will go a little bit behind to try to explore the other's weaknesses. So definitely we need to start fast.
Talk us through your team this evening, Thomas, because you're able to bring Dragosan back in, just the second start of the season. Jed Spence as well, back after a couple of games out. I mean, you don't have a huge amount of options, but those must be welcome returns for you.
Yeah, of course. I think it's nice to see Dragosan on the pitch. He's been out for 12 months, so of course super important. And Jed's only been out for a few games, so very important. He's fit now that Destiny's out.
How difficult is it for you managing the squad with the injuries? I mean, I think you've got 10 players out injured tonight, and obviously Romero unavailable.
Yeah, I would say it's a pretty strong lineup we have out. I think that's fair to say. But that's sometimes part of it. And we need to dig in and keep finding solutions.
Yeah, well, we wish you the very best of luck, Thomas. We appreciate you joining us out here.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks, Thomas. Good luck, yeah.
Cheers. Thomas Frank, I mean, fair play to him coming out in this weather.
Yeah.
It's your first time here, isn't it?
Yeah, my first time. I've done a good job with the umbrella I felt over Thomas's head there, but yeah, I mean, I've obviously seen the stadium on TV, but actually to be here and to witness it, and it's very, very impressive. I mean, it really is. It's a phenomenal stadium, and again, it's a stadium you think that Tottenham have struggled this season to play in. It's amazing, but then you think of the opposition players coming to this stadium as well. It actually lifts the opposition as well because it's such a special stadium. So hopefully Newcastle can lift their game tonight.
What about Tottenham though, Les? Because we heard Thomas yesterday saying that, you know, it's at the point now where they really are desperate for victories. He didn't mention relegation, he refused to go down that road, but as far as 3 points are concerned, this is a huge one tonight.
This is a massive game for him tonight in terms of where they are in the table. He might not be thinking about it, but I think everybody's looking at it and thinking about it. They're only 6 points off that relegation spot, and they haven't been good at home. As I said, they need to start. I was there when in the Man City game, and they started so poorly in the game, but turned it round. And then against Manchester United, before the sending off, they were on the front foot. So he'll be hoping that they can. They've had a problem here this season, you know, being able to appease these fans, and they need to start fast, and that's the way you get the fans on the side.
What about Newcastle's perspective, Shay, then? Tottenham have struggled at home. Newcastle have struggled away. What will they need to do tonight if they're to get...
I said to you off air, we're going to get a 0-0 out of here. I hope not. No, it's not great. I mean, Newcastle have only won 2 away from home all season. I think Tottenham only won 2 at home, you know, so something has to give. I do like the front three there he's done with tonight, because he's got me real pace with Gordon, probably the number 9, Alanga on the right and Barnes off the left. I actually like that a lot, so I think they sort of soak up a bit of pressure that I'm sure Tottenham will put on them. They're going to be so quick on the counter-attack because that's what the pace and them front three give you. So I'm really excited to see how they play tonight. But again, it's about getting back to winning ways and getting that belief back, because they've got such a tough run. Obviously away tonight, then, you know, they've got the away to Villa in the FA Cup, away to Karabakh, and then away to Man City. So these games, the next 4 games, are really, really difficult for Eddie Howe and his team.
Yeah, they certainly are. Well, after the break, we will turn our attention fully to the visitors, because they're also under some pressure after 3 straight Premier League defeats. And we'll hear from Eddie Howe, who insists he is still the right man for the job as he looks to turn their form and season around.
Discovery Plus and TNT Sports, your home for Milano Cortina 2026.
Pushing it to the max.
TNT Sports will deliver all the iconic events, including Team GB's Quest for Glory and analysis from our experts. Discovery Plus ensures you'll never miss a moment, with multi-view streaming options, key moments, and gold medal alerts. And head online for the latest action on the TNT Sports app and socials.
What a way to sign up.
Milano Cortina 2026, live on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus.
This is the 7 Days Dream Home competition, where every month you get 2 chances to win a dream home. With guaranteed winners and limited tickets on every draw, you could take the home mortgage free or choose the cash alternative. Enter now to win your dream home or take the cash at 7days.co.uk.
Sport. It's not just a game. It's in your DNA. That's why at SpreadX, we bring you great offers and features to aid your sports betting. Price boosts for better odds on big events. Live streaming on your favorite sports. Get paid out early with new 2-up football markets if your team goes 2 goals up. And ACCA cash bonuses up to 100% on selected football accumulators of at least 3 legs. SpreadX. It's in our DNA.
He knows exactly what to transport and when. There's no DNA, the guys are traceable.
Hello, it's stressful when bills are coming at you from all angles. At USwitch, our experts fight for fairer prices on your energy, broadband and mobile bills, so you could switch, save and feel more protected. USwitch, we put you first. Energy, broadband, mobile.
Today, tell us what you saw.
I didn't know what it was. I'd never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything move like it. The tech was amazing.
I got so crazy. I haven't been posting in a while.
Did it come from the stars? I don't know. But it has
Like it came home.
We're willing to offer $185.
We can do 205.
Can't go higher than 190.
Okay, y'all.
$190 for the first year with a £10 increase in years 2 and 3.
Deal.
Get ready. F1 is about to start. It's lights out and away we go. Doritos, official partner of Formula One. Taste the thrill and try new Doritos Golden Sriracha flavor.
With football, there's a lot to consider. The Premier League on TNT Sports, proudly sponsored by Boyle Sports.
Welcome back to a match where Tottenham need a win, which means they probably don't want to face Newcastle, who've beaten them in 6 of their last 8 games. But they can take heart from the very last meeting, a battling 2-2 draw in December, which saw a late penalty for Newcastle. Anthony Gordon thought he'd won it for Newcastle before a 95th minute overhead kick equaliser from Christian Romero, which stole a point. It was a dramatic finish that day, but Romero won't be the hero tonight after his red card at the weekend, which means Dragusin comes in to replace the captain. He is one of 3 changes. Bissouma coming into the midfield for Palhinha, and Jed Spence. He's back after injury as well, and he is in for the injured Udoki. There's also an unconventional left back for Newcastle. Dan Burn is in the starting lineup for Lewis Hall. That's one of 4 changes for the visitors. Ramsey coming into the middle of the pitch for Tonali. And up top, Anthony Gordon has passed a fitness test to start. Voltemada and Vissa will begin this one on the bench. Well, let's hear more about that team selection. Eddie Howe is with Danny James.
If we start with the team that you've named tonight, Anthony Gordon comes back in, presumed to play through the middle. How good is it to have him back, and what does he offer in that role?
Really good to have him back. He's a top player and brings his qualities. You know, he's quick, he's direct, he's technically very good. So we're hoping he'll play well, whatever position he plays.
Jacob Ramsey also comes into midfield. Why him over Sandro Tonali?
Just giving JJ an opportunity today, player that's done well for us in recent weeks, and with Sandro managing as we are with all the players trying to manage their load, it's a delicate balancing act. We need to win games and you want your best players on the pitch, but today, as I said, an opportunity for Joe Willock and for JJ to hopefully impress and bring their qualities as well. They're both really good athletically, and we feel we really need that pace and athleticism in our team today.
So 2 of the 4 changes from the weekend, has that been the key, almost trying to get a bit of freshness, a bit of extra pace into the team?
Definitely, that's part of our thinking. I think we've had a number of players that have played probably not at their best physical level in recent weeks, and I think that's shown in some of our performances and results. So today we've tried to mix things up as best we can. I still feel there's a couple more ideally we would have done, but we don't have the luxury to do that. But I like the team that we've picked, but now it's up to us to perform.
Spurs are also not in the greatest of form at the moment. Is one of the things you can target tonight the atmosphere here, sort of make them nervous, use that to your advantage?
I think for us it's difficult to sort of target that specifically. I think the target for us is to start the game really well, show our intent in the game, show that we're here to fight and to battle for every tackle, every loose ball. I really want to see a sort of an enthusiasm and a desire to do well in those aspects, and I think if we do with our quality, I think we'll do well.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Danny picking up there on just how the atmosphere can go against the home side here. Les, but he sensing a bit of nervousness in the Newcastle camp as well at the moment?
Yeah, there has to be. You know, they haven't been winning games, and I think the main thing, they haven't been scoring goals. And you know, Eddie's he's been all season looking for the right formula up front. You know, Voldemada's played at times. I know Wissa's been injured. You know, this time last year, Wissa had 11 goals, scored 1 goal, and I know he's been out for a period of time. Elanga, all of these guys, all the summer signings, none of them really seem to hit the ground running. So it's been difficult, and so he's had to change his formation. Or you've seen him go with the formation for the first half, and in the second half change 2 of those front players, just looking for that right formula.
I mean, he's Newcastle's most successful manager in the modern era in the past 70 years, but is this the most pressure Eddie Howe's found himself under as the boss of this club?
Yeah, I would say so. I think he said that himself over the last couple of days. It's a bit of a sticky patch, I think, but I don't think there's any concern, in my opinion. You know, no time for panic. It's time to get behind the manager, stick with the manager, and support him as much as anything. I think Les is right in the sense, you know, the forward guys, the attacking players, that a lot of the budget went in the summer, went on the forward guys, and they haven't had the goals in that return to sort of back that up. So, I mean, even last week at City in the semi-final of the Cup, they did create lots of chances, but they weren't clinical in front of goal. So they are creating chances, and I think he did mention in his interview as well about the crowd here. I think the Tottenham fans as well are a bit anxious, or a bit. I know they're booed off against City a few weeks back themselves. I think if they can stick in the game, Newcastle, as I said before the break, the 3 guys up top with the pace that Newcastle have will cause this Tottenham back 4. But let's be honest, they're a bit of a makeshift back 4 tonight. Some big problems, I think.
And on a pitch like this as well, with the rain, and it's slick, isn't it? I mean, they should be licking their lips, shouldn't they?
They certainly should, because I mean, as Shay said, you know, Tottenham haven't started well at home in the last few games. I don't know whether the Man City game was showing Man City too much respect, but they certainly struggled, and so I think Newcastle will be looking to take advantage of that and the crowd here tonight.
Are you a fan of Anthony Gordon through the middle, or is it a consequence of the form, like you were saying, of Voltemada and Vissa?
I think it's more a consequence of the form, because, you know, Anthony Gordon hasn't scored many goals in the Premier League this season himself. So I understand the pace, and I understand what Eddie's trying to do in terms of get out of that back four. Dragiston hasn't played, this is only his 2nd game, so the one thing you do was you want to get at him. So I can understand the formation, but the goal scoring doesn't actually warrant that.
Who needs to win this one more tonight, do you think, Shane? It's $1 million question.
I know, it's a difficult question, but I think really both. You know, I think even Thomas Frank said they're desperate for a victory. Tottenham are, but so are Newcastle. They really are. It's got a tough, as I say, tough run of fixtures away from home for Newcastle now. But sometimes when you go through a sticky patch, sometimes you're better off away from home, you know, because the expectancy is on the home team to come out and attack, and maybe that might play into Newcastle's hand, but it's very difficult to say one needs it more than the other. I mean, Les mentioned before that, you know, Tottenham 6 points above relegation, but I think Newcastle have still got outside hopes of making European football through the league this year, but they have to pick up their form really, really quickly.
They certainly do. Well, this is such a huge game for both of these clubs tonight. Shay just mentioned it. Thomas Frank has alluded to Tottenham being absolutely desperate for a first Premier League win since December. Newcastle, meanwhile, they need to bounce back from 3 straight defeats. Something has to give. Kickoff is coming next.
Where will the Premier League take you this season? The Premier League on TNT Sports, proudly sponsored by Boyle Sports.
The FA Cup is where you dare to dream. Where every fan dares to dream. The FA Cup live on TNT Sports.
It's bet builder time for Josh. And he goes to great lengths to build his.
3+ shot. That's my gut feeling.
Very reliable.
I've got some difficult news. I'm betting on us to lose. Look. You seen the odds?
Bet builder. You build it. We give you a free bet every week of the Premier League season and a big boost every day. That's satisfaction from Ladbrokes.
What a result.
Yeah, well, we've shown conviction and it was an unbelievable finish.
Alice?
It was never going to be easy. I liked what I saw tonight. Everyone gave 110%.
But can they do it on a cold, rainy night in Stoke?
Well, Peter, we are in Stoke and it is cold. And raining.
Yes.
Victorian plumbing.
Bad news. Your business is only using a fraction of its data. But the rest, it's all around you. And everyone's searching for it. Untapped opportunity everywhere. Sure, you can look for it all over the place. Or you can find it in one place. HubSpot, where data that's buried in emails, call logs, and meeting notes become insights that help you grow. All the data makes all the difference.
Imagine needing a tradesperson. And suddenly, reviews appear. Skills are checked. With My Builder, it's real, and you can choose to connect with the tradesperson you want. That's why we're trusted by homeowners. My Builder, a reliable way to hire a tradesperson.
Do you want to radiate this new year? Reveal firmer, smoother, radiant-looking skin with Olay Regenerist. Its microsculpting technology penetrates 10 layers deep to boost surface skin cell renewal. The secret to beautiful skin. For me, it's only Olay.
Oh, on a P&O Cruises holiday, I see them made in a whole new light. Mediterranean holidays from $699. P&O Cruises, holiday like never before. At all protected.
Yeah, I'll be there in a second. Just heading to the shop.
Mobile that rolls with your business. You'd better believe it. Only Sky Business Mobile rolls over any unused data and automatically shares it with your team, saving you time and money. Search Sky Business Mobile today.
This Valentine's, treat yourself to Asda's Bistro Dine-In for two. Choose a starter, a main, two sides. dessert, and a bottle of Prosecco, all for £12. Interruption-free evening not included. That's a real Valentine's. That's Asda price.
The Mazda CX-30, our stylish and compact SUV. Available with 0% APR representative when ordered before the 31st of March 2026. Mazda, crafted with Japanese soul. Search Mazda.
I'm going to build something bigger, faster, wilder.
Sell your car on Motorway, sponsors of the Premier League on TNT Sports.
This is the ticket.
Welcome to a Tales of the Unexpected.
The ticket to every single game.
The passion behind that stadium right now, it's a fever pitch.
The front row seat for all the moments that truly matter. The perfect view amongst the chaos.
What a hit that is!
Best seat in the house to witness the drama. Wherever you are, whoever you follow, take the seat, because this is the ticket.
That's right, a full round of Premier League fixtures to look forward to on TNT Sports over the next couple of days. And tonight, Leeds, who are on the same points as Tottenham, are at Stamford Bridge to take on Chelsea. While Michael Carrick's Manchester United can go 5 from 5 at West Ham. That's a slightly later kick-off time at 8:15. Everton are also hosting Bournemouth. Head to Discovery Plus for that and for our multi-view feature where you can watch all 4 games at the same time. We've got big news to share with you, and it's that HBO Max is arriving on the 26th of March, and it will be the new streaming home of TNT Sports in the UK. As well as the sport you love, you can also find the most talked about series like The Pit and Euphoria, plus hit movies like One Battle After Another and Sinners, all under one roof. I've seen The Pit as well, and it is well worth a watch. Well, here the light show is underway. Tottenham against Newcastle. Would you have liked to play in these conditions, Les?
Do you know what? I'm sitting there thinking it's not great to be sitting in the standing, but you'd love to be out there playing. The pitch looks fantastic. The ball would be moving around. It'd be very slick. It'd be a great night to be out there.
And Shay, whoever starts the fastest in this one will have a fantastic advantage, won't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the start's hugely important. You know, you'd imagine the home side, Tottenham, would come out of the blocks. Newcastle stay nice and solid, but they've got some pace on the break. And even I look at the bench at Newcastle, they've got 3 strikers on the bench. They've got Tonali on the bench, and even Lewis Hall, who knows a really attacking fullback. So maybe Eddie's thinking stay in the game as long as it's possible. Frustrate the crowd, frustrate Tottenham, and that could be the game plan tonight for Newcastle.
It's a hugely significant game already, and we're only in February.
It's hard to believe these sides are where they are, but you know, big night for them, and Tottenham need to start fast.
Start fast, that's the message down here. Well, here we go. Tottenham against Newcastle. So much on the line for this one. Let's join our commentary team and say good evening to Glenn Hoddle and Sam Matterface.
Emma, thank you. Another brilliant week is about to unfold on TNT Sports. The Premier League's midweek mayhem starts here, where in the words of Thomas Frank, every game is a battle in the most physical, competitive, relentless league in the world. Good evening, everyone, from North London. Last year's Europa League winners and last year's Carabao Cup winners meet in what could be billed as the disappointment derby. Both desperate to rescue a slumping season, both frustrated they haven't been able to build on last year's triumphs. Both with injury-ravaged squads, both with restless fan bases, and both with managers feeling a little bit of heat. As Spurs plummeted to 15th in the table, Thomas Frank said his team were desperate to find a way to win. Eddie Howe has fronted up too. He didn't mince his words. He says he wouldn't be the Newcastle manager if he didn't think he was the best man for the job. Well, it's ironic that the man who saved their skin when these two shared the points at St James's Park earlier in the season and who has consistently bemoaned the squad depth is not available tonight after getting sent off at Manchester United. Christian Romero's replacement is Radu Dragusin. Udogie is the latest to join the infirmed. There are 3 changes in all, including the return of Jed Spence at left back.
Yeah, so many injuries here for this Spurs side. They've still managed to put out a quality squad in many ways. For me, this Spurs team, how many chances can they commit for Dominic Solanke? As the form man, can they get the ball into him and with a decent service, giving them opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net?
Newcastle United have left £124 million worth of strikers on the bench tonight. As a result, Anthony Gordon has recovered from his hamstring and goes straight through the middle as he did last Wednesday night at Manchester City. Lewis Hall is replaced by Dan Bird at left back. The speedsters Elanga and Barnes will look to get in behind. Jacob Murphy is on the bench. 4 changes from the defeat to Brentford at the weekend.
Yeah, this Newcastle side is all, it's been picked really to shape up for Barnes, Gordon and Langer to hit on the counter. I think Newcastle will soak up a bit of pressure, and that's the danger for Tottenham. I think they've got the pace, not in Van der Ven, but I think they're going to outpace the other 3 defenders for Tottenham. So I think that's the real problem Spurs will have. That space in behind might get exploited by Newcastle.
Glenn, you mentioned Dominic Solanke. He's been showing his value of late. He scored twice to drag Spurs back into the game with Manchester City recently. Harvey Barnes has been the most potent weapon that Newcastle have possessed. His goals against Spurs for both Leicester and Newcastle. 1 more goal tonight represents his best scoring season. Knows he can't keep dropping points here. He can't afford to keep dropping points full stop. Only Wolves have a worse record than Tottenham over the past 38 games. And Eddie Howe, who is the most successful manager in 2 generations at Newcastle United, knows that he and his team have to improve. They are without a win in 5 in all competitions. Referee tonight is Anthony Taylor. VAR is Nick Hopton. Two sides in trouble, 2 managers under scrutiny, 2 teams that need a victory, 2 groups of supporters that need satisfying. It is a battle of the bruised, but a win will heal the wounds. Well, for now. The former Tottenham star Glenn Hoddle is here. This is a game that neither can afford to lose, really. So are you expecting a tight, tense affair or handbrakes off?
No, I think both teams will come forward eventually. I think Newcastle will try and hit on the counter a little bit, as I said earlier. But I mean, both managers will be sitting on that bench, and at the moment, the Spurs team, the Newcastle, they're not quite sure what they're going to get from their own team, from their own players. They really don't. And I think that might be an exciting game for that reason.
Archie Gray being deployed at right back again tonight. Radu Dragusin alongside him on that side of the Tottenham back 4 this evening. They have been mixing it up a little bit and playing a back 3. Collini has been left on the bench tonight. He's already played right back, right midfield, centre midfield and left back this season, Archie Gray.
Yeah, he's so flexible, isn't he? But he's found himself in that right back position. He's going to have his work cut out tonight. Barnes is a really good player, and on his day, cutting inside, can go on the outside as well. So Archie Gray is going to make sure that his #1 priority today is the 1v1. He comes out better than Barnes, that's for sure.
Trippier looking to hook that. Find Joe Willock against Mickey Van der Ven. This comes in from Willock. It's headed behind by Bissouma. And it's out for the first corner again. It goes Newcastle United's way.
Yeah, there's a decent cross in, actually. He's running out of space. He gets in behind Van der Ven. Little overlap there. Spence can't track him, and he whips in a lovely ball. Just whips it round there. To be honest, Vicario must have given him a call, but in the end, Bassoon was thinking, I've got to play safe here. I can head it away and make sure no one gets in between him and the keeper.
This cross and now Alanga's corner. Newcastle setting up on the edge of the box here, then darting into the box, and it travels a long way, and it took a bounce off a white shirt, I think, Dragusin, and goes over the top of the crossbar and out for a second successive corner.
Yeah, nobody knew too much about it, did they? I think Dragusin's trying to drag his player down. It just, there's a bounce there, and on the half volley goes, shoots over the top of the bar. That's the danger.
Bruno Guimaraes this time to take the corner from the other side, and Tottenham have got to be a little bit more switched on here. Newcastle United with a couple of different set-piece routines. That one aimed in towards Sven Botman, who scored at the weekend and kept it alive. This is Elanga. It's a decent-looking ball to the far post. It almost came through to Sven Botman, who was darting in behind Malik Chiao. He goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, it's two great bits of defending there from Solanke. Solanke, the centre forward, comes back, heads that ball on the near post. Then he's got the defensive duties to do. He goes back in there like a centre back and just gets the vital touch. Another really good cross from Elanga there. Just whips it into that area. And look at Solanke, just gets his left foot to it. That's going to be a goal for Chow if he doesn't get that little intervention.
Well, it has been a positive start by Newcastle United. Both these two teams, Tottenham and the Magpies, unreliable, sometimes even during games. Spurs winless in 7 Premier League matches. Newcastle have suffered 3 straight defeats in the top flight, and they've come out with an intention here to make sure it's not 4.
Yeah, it's a good start from Newcastle. It really is. Couple of corners, couple of good efforts, half chances, and Eddie Howe will be delighted. But you see them here now, just halfway pressed. They've got a back four that's quite high up. They're saying, look, you can put the ball in there behind us tonight. It's going to skid through anyway, but it allows that midfield and the front players to get a real good press on.
Odegaard trying to outpace Dan Burn, and he gets in behind him, and he's got Simmons on the edge of the area. Simmons trying to flick it through to Solanke. And it was a very quick Tottenham Hotspur break, and Odegaard exposed Dan Burn in that right wing area.
Yeah, they shift up, and I think that the other 3 defenders were saying, like, we're okay, but actually Dan Burn's got it on tonight. It was a lovely bit of movement from Odegaard.
Response from Tottenham Hotspur. Let's see, we're involved in a cracking game up at St James's Park earlier in the season that finished 2-2. Captain for tonight, Nicky van der Ven, just wandering into a crowded area but picking up a foul.
Yeah, I like it when I see him come into that midfield at times, that if he's given space and time on the ball as a centre-back, he can be a real danger for your opponents, and just goes in there, gets the foul this time. But we've seen him, haven't we, in the past, go all the way from box to box.
I was waiting for you to mention that. Doesn't mind the odd long busting run. Xavi Simons has come into a bit of form recently. He's taking the set piece. They've gone short. Jed Spence will try and whip this in. Looking for Solanke. Round the back is Dragusin. Just couldn't reach it, the Romanian.
Yeah, in some ways it was too good a ball, wasn't it? They take a short one, and I think it's been work from the training ground. They might have played it back out to Simmons, but it's a dangerous ball in behind that Newcastle back line, and just couldn't quite get there. He's got that max sharpness, and he won't have it for a while, because he's played a couple of games that have been out a long time.
I do wonder how Thomas Frank was feeling, having backed his captain last week, and he now has to tackle 4 games without him. It's the last thing he needed. The full 11 or more out injured at the moment.
Well, actually, Sam, I thought it was ironic that Romero had gone on social media talking about leadership. Go out and lead yourself first.
Well, he's in the stadium tonight, showing his solidarity with his teammates, and he's going to hope and have his fingers crossed that they can put a result on the board, Glenn, because they need to. Both teams really need a spark, don't they? They need some belief, inspiration. They are desperate for points. And here comes Conor Gallagher charging in down that right-hand side. He's got space for Simons, who's joining late here. Solanke still in the middle. And Simons, they went for the near post. And there were options in the middle. It was a dangerous Tottenham attack.
Yeah, it was a great run from Conor Gallagher. He looks up, he uses Solanke, and he says, that's not the ball, I'm going for Simons. He tries to go through the legs here and just drag it inside and go through the legs, catching him Pope out on the near post. Just drags it a little bit, doesn't he? There were runners as well going into the penalty area on the edge of the box around the penalty spot, but he goes for himself, and it was a really good move, really good break down that right-hand side again for Spurs. Terrific ball from Archie Gray as well, I've got to say, 60, 70 yard pass. Excellent.
Free kick given against the Romanian. This is Trippier. It's short for Willock, but he makes the best of a bad situation. Chip. And forward. Too close to Dragossi. Too close to wide the challenge of Basuma. It has come through to Barnes, so the referee's played the advantage. This is Gordon back to Guimaraes. Now it's Joe Willock sizing one up. Ben almost finding the far corner. He wasn't too far away at all, and he knows it.
Yeah, that space opens up there, and it's Basuma. Good refereeing, by the way, from Anthony Taylor. Plays on there. He knows it's a foul from Basuma. Plays on, really sharp play. There's the little 1-2, rat-a-tat-tat. Good football. And there's the space, the little man. Spence goes with the wide man, Trippier. Manages to get his shot, and he just drags it wide. It's just the angle that he's hit it at. Just going away, and I think Ricardo was at full stretch there. Just goes by, but I think Eddie Howe will be absolutely delighted the way Newcastle have started. Well, both managers are delighted. They're creating, aren't they?
Well, it certainly hasn't been a tight, cagey match, which we didn't think it would be with these two.
I don't think you get any of them sort of matches nowadays in the Premier League.
Why do you think that is? Not allowed to defend?
Well, I do. I think everything, the whole emphasis on, the fullbacks become winners. And, there's a risk from the goalkeepers. Everyone's thinking about what we're going to do with the ball. And it's refreshing because it makes for goals, doesn't it?
Certainly makes it entertaining, and these two often provide entertainment. Trippier. Rice wanted that played centrally. It's gone wide to Elanga instead. Gordon's playing as the false 9 tonight. He will drop out of that position and come and try and link the play, as he has done now. Elanga. And to take on Papsar, he wins the corner. The greatest start to his Newcastle career, Elanga, but he scored last midweek against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. It was a terrific finish, and then I suppose in a sort of microcosm of his career, the next minute he missed a really presentable chance. But he's got a chance to make an impact tonight, Glenn.
Yeah, I think there's a few in there. Ramsey, Willock, Elanga. I think they'll be chomping on the bit to play well tonight. They really will.
His corner goes into the near post, but it's headed away by Jed Spence. Willock stops the escape from Xavi Simons. Langer's got another chance to try and get it in. He steers it nicely into Barnes, and that was a inventive little flick which almost came off for Harvey Barnes.
Again, it's Elanga down this right-hand side, doesn't he? He's causing all sorts of havoc. Just plays a ball in there, and that's really good wing play from Barnes. The opposite winger, sometimes he's out wide, and you think, my word, what are you doing out there? Look at him, he's coming across the front post, just gets the little flick. He's unlucky, isn't he?
That's a couple of chances now that Newcastle United have had in the game. Mottman being outpaced by Solanke. Onabera has gotten filled in the middle. A bit too close to Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle should get this clear. 3 attempts already from Newcastle United, just the one on target so far. The only chance that Spurs have fashioned came from Xavi Simons. Trippier very quickly on his bike, and Willock there too, a glancing header looking to find him. aggressive start by Newcastle. That was a little bit over-eager from Elanga. He caught Simons on the top of the foot.
Yeah, just lost control of it, and I think sometimes when you make that first mistake, you want to make up for it, and just overstepped it. Just go to Simons because they're in a good attacking position again down this right-hand side.
Waste. And what a week it has been for Christian Romero. Suspended captain, pretty vocal about the lack of investment in the squad. Something that the relatively new CEO Vinay Venkatesham has had to deal with. Not the easiest first 9 months of the club for him, with Levy Paratici and a change of manager. And you know that game where you construct your fantasy dinner party, Glenn? That might have been quite an interesting guest list over the weekend, wouldn't it?
That's a good shout. No, there's a lot of work to be done at Tottenham, for sure. Yes, they've been crippled with injuries at the moment, but for the long term, it's going to take time, but they've got to get themselves out of this little semi-hole that they're in at the moment.
Here's Anthony Gordon, managing to do enough to keep Willock in play. It's a good ball out to Trippier. Another chance for Newcastle United, just a little bit too close to Vicario this time. But it's more danger being posed by Newcastle. And the referee says play on, despite what looked like a little push from Malik Chow. Elanga, Willock, Newcastle come again. And just to show that he can push just as much as Malik Chow. Around the bin, it's in front of Joe Willock, dispossesses him. Attack was thwarted.
Yeah, this is a really good controlled start from Newcastle, I've got to say. Every time they get the ball wide, as I keep saying, particularly down this right-hand side, they haven't really had an attack down the left, but they're getting bodies off the ball into the box as well. It's a real threat.
Alright, little back heel. Elanga into the box, away by Dragusin. Inventive, it's quick, it's sharp. They look a little bit more front-footed tonight, Newcastle United. It's early doors, and they make this early dominance pay. This is Barnes. Wanders off. Archie Gray is out for another corner, and they're wrapping them up.
Yeah, that's where he's at his very best, Barnes, when he's teed you up, he's fronted you up, 1v1 in the penalty area. So Archie Gray does really well to just get the blocking.
Burner at the back edge of the penalty area, being marshalled by Archie Gray. Lindsay in there, Chow coming up from the back, trying to get to the front post now. A bit too deep for those, punched away by Vicario. Langer has the second opportunity to put the ball into the box here. Get past Odobert. Thought he should have had a foul there. Anthony Taylor didn't.
Touch on the ball, there's the touch, and then there's the foul. I think that's a foul, to be honest. It's just that little touch to get away, and then you just get caught in.
Came off the bench at the weekend, replaced Joe Willock. And the goal was that goal he got against Manchester City in last week's Carabao Cup defeat. It's been the easiest of settling in periods for Anthony Elanga, but it's been very difficult for all of the new signings to settle in, really. Injuries, disruption to the way that the team play. The pre-season was disrupted by all of the noise around Alexander Isak. Certainly something that Eddie Howe didn't enjoy when he was trying to glue the squad together in the summer. Stayed up here, he set it back for Ramsey, and it's covered off Mickey van der Ven and out for another corner. He hasn't scored yet for Newcastle United. That was a presentable chance.
Oh, that was a really easy goal. Good chance for a midfield player coming onto it, unopposed really. Zuma can't quite get there, but he absolutely just screws the ball. There's no no really sort of venom in his contact at all. What a chance that is, and Spurs have got to liven up, if not they're going to concede.
The ball in towards that near post, and it's another glancer of Sarr. It's out for another corner to Newcastle United. Corner of the game now for the team that have come out here. Putting together in the first 18 minutes to make their mark at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Elanga's delivery, it's another good one. Tottenham sends it backwards rather than forwards. He got there first. Elanga. Dan Burn. Behind again by Sarr. He says that came off of Dan Burn last, and it's out for a goal kick.
Really good sliding tackle again from Trippier to gain possession again. It's Burn, the left back, out on the right wing.
I was here, it's been 10 days ago for the Manchester City game, first half. Tottenham really struggled to get to grips with things, and it's a similar sort of tale, isn't it? How do they change this?
Yeah, I mean, they've got to get some possession of the ball. They've got to try and slow the game down and play at the pace that they want to. At the moment, they've got a couple of times that have gone over the top on the left-hand side of Amber. But at the end of the day, they've got to get some composure in their play, some setup, what I call setup passes, so then someone like Solanke can make movement. They've had no real sort of possession, but they've had 2 or 3 passes, set a nice movement up, and it's all a bit bitty at the moment from Spurs. And they've had, most of the time, they've been defending.
Saying 92% possession for Newcastle in the last 5 minutes, and on the front foot again with Elanga looking for Gordon at the far post. Ferguson's effort has to be punched off the line by Vicario. And he tried to clear the ball and ended up going over his head and towards his own goal. Back in again from Burn. Elanga at the far post, Spence away, Willock, Elanga, Willock again. No one wants to take charge inside that Tottenham penalty area. At the moment, Newcastle United are quite happy to. Elanga, Trippier, Elanga again. Newcastle loading the back post. Away by Mickey van de Ven. Tottenham rocking. Elanga looking to tease his way past Spence, tries to go on the outside. Spence does enough, but only gives it back to Anthony Gordon. Tottenham quicker and sharper to the loose ball. They're getting incredibly frustrated now.
Well, it's been on the Newcastle, let's be fair, they've created the better opportunities, and you've got to say that Spurs, the 2 centre-backs actually have stood firm. They've headed everything that's come in there at the moment. But you're imagining that there's going to be one opportunity where it's going to land on a Newcastle there.
Keep inviting pressure, can you? And this is a crowd that wants Tottenham to set the tone here. Elanga in particular is having a good time down this right-hand side. He's got the ball again, and Trippier is alongside him. 4 inside the box. Trippier's cross hits the arm, I think, of the former England man. Jed Spence played it against it, but the referee says no handball. Maybe a chance for Odegaard. Just drag Tottenham away from their own half of the field and test the Newcastle back line. Runs into Dan Burn, and he couldn't get round him.
Great opportunity, great pass from Sarr to change things around and counter. I mean, Spurs are playing as if they've been waiting and looking to counter themselves. And any possession really with the ball. This crowd are baying for them to just create something. You can't create anything if you haven't got the ball.
Spence. pressing. So quite happy just to allow them to have the ball until they reach the halfway line and put a bit of a press on. Slows it up a little bit. In towards Solanke now. A nudge from Malik Chow, nothing more than that. Maybe just a brief check to see whether or not there could be a penalty. I'm not sure they'll make a decision to overturn the on-field decision.
No, I don't think so. It's the keeper the ball in, but it's not a penalty for me. A little slight nudge.
Burke into Ramsey. In the corner.
There's the little ball in, cute little ball in there. Look at there.
We're just looking for the possibility of just a little nudge in the back there.
There's a little nudge there, but I think if you're giving penalties for that, you'll be giving 5 or 6 per game. Another corner for Newcastle.
Absolutely, and Newcastle have been the aggressors here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's not the greatest of corners in from Trippier. As Willock manages to get hold of it. Again, Tottenham just not sharp enough to react. When that ball breaks, Glenn, do they need to be a little bit quicker out?
Absolutely. I mean, it was a poor header from Spence, let's be fair. That ball should have been headed out for a throw-in right up the pitch. But their reaction, and that's the problem with Spurs. I've watched them, particularly at home, their movement off the ball. That's why people go backwards for Tottenham. The movement off the ball is not good enough collectively.
And is that a coaching thing? Is that a quality of player thing? Is that a lack of confidence thing?
Yeah, I think all three of them things you've mentioned there, Sam, without a doubt. And when you have, here we go, just pulled it back, Anthony. But when you've got three of those facets, bereft of them as a team and individually, they look like they're playing with chains on. They've got a little bit too much anxiety in their play. They haven't got the confidence to make them runs. So consequently, whoever's on the ball has to go backwards. They play safe. And when a team's playing confidently and really in control of their game and they're winning matches, and you don't even think about them things. It just becomes natural.
We've seen those areas in which Newcastle have tried to exploit Tottenham, and it's down that right-hand side with Anthony Elanga in this first 25 minutes of the game. 55% of the attacks have come down that side.
It's the chicken and the egg, because Xavi Simons is playing out on this left-hand side, but he goes floating, and he started to float a bit more, but Spurs haven't kept the ball enough, and so consequently when they hand the ball over, Trippier has got 30-40 yards of space, and Elanga then is going to pin Spence down, and they've got so much space and time and room down this right-hand side, and that's the reason.
Something they've honed over recent weeks as well. I was at City last week when Newcastle were great getting in behind the defence in the flanks. Balls over the top, speed down on the wide positions. They were so assertive at times that the channel between Trippier and Chow was constantly exposed. Managed to do that so far, Tottenham Hotspur, but it's been all Newcastle. I think they did at City was get in great positions and not score until late on in the game. Haven't scored here yet. Simons looking to drag Tottenham on the pitch. Trippier leaves him alone, then intervenes at the right time. Here, but there has been a goal in the game at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea lead against Leeds by a goal to nil. Now Pedro after 24 minutes on TNT Sports 4 tonight on the Discovery Plus app.
There's an example there, Sam. I'm looking around, there's no movement off the ball. There's no sort of interplay where two people are moving together and making space and creating. Consequently, the ball goes square and back again. Spurs are at their best when there's movement. They've done it in Europe.
Newcastle flexing back into a shape, sort of almost 4-5-1 when they don't have the ball as well, which makes it even more difficult. Here's Solanke, who has got good movement. Trying to get the shot away, which is blocked by Botman. Gray supplementing the attack here. In towards Solanke again. Botman manages to get it clear. Gordon looking to try and get around Dragusin. He's done that. They want to release it quickly, but Dragusin is all arms and legs over Joe Willock. So well timed intervention from Mickey van der Ven, as they often are.
What a tackle that is, Sam. No word.
Another one from Simons. This is the first one. It's the perfect weather for this sort of tackle, Glenn, isn't it, eh?
Absolutely. The old sliding tackle I thought had gone out of the game, but look at that. He timed it to perfection. You have to. When you slide tackle, you go down, you commit. And that's where nowadays, in the modern game, it's very unusual to see, look, coaches are saying, there's a foul, there's a foul. But for me, it was perfect.
It's one of those nights where the kit man's going to have a hell of a job to get the grass stains out. Gordon looking to try and take on Mickey van der Ven. Plays it against the Dutchman. It's yet another corner. We're going to end up with double figures in terms of corners before we get to half-time.
Well, so far at the moment, Spurs have dealt with most of the corners that have come in. There's a couple of dangerous ones, but as you said earlier, that got to make first contact. At the moment, they're making that, but so many corners. It's going to be one that Newcastle can make first contact.
Gets away, and only as far as Ramsey, who hits it. They can't believe that that went wide. It did take a nick on the way through, I think. Simon was getting out close to him.
He gets to close in. I don't know if there is a touch there. Look, you can see it. Just stayed the same flat.
Movement from Botman, movement from Byrne. It's towards Malik Chow. It's still alive with Anthony Gordon. This time it goes behind. Away for a goal kick. A couple of times there, Newcastle threatened the Tottenham Hotspur goal. And Eddie Howe, I think, will be a little bit frustrated that they haven't managed to get on the score sheet. He hasn't shied away from the criticism that he's faced over his tactics, especially away from home where they've won only 2 of 12. The good news for him is that Tottenham are just as bad at home as Newcastle are away from home in the Premier League.
Performance-wise, he's got to be delighted with Newcastle's performance up to now.
Barnes trying to trick his way past Saar. Might have been a foul prior to that, which has hurt Odobert.
Looks in agony though, Ed. Tracking back there, let's try to pinch the ball there. Really see again, yeah, a really good tackle from Saar. But there looks like he's in a lot of pain. That's one where it doesn't look like he might have got injured, but he twisted something.
Glenn, they can't afford to have anybody else go into the sick bay, can they? That is for sure, because they've got far too many that are unavailable already tonight. And doesn't look comfortable at all, does he? He's panicking that he's going to have to try and find some more personnel. Look, even the bench is empty tonight. A lot of those warming up down to our left-hand side, but it does illustrate, I think, that there is a lack of first teamers available tonight. You've got Janai Byfield on the bench this evening, only 17 years of age. Another teenager as well, including Sousa, who came off the bench at Manchester United at the weekend. Well, TNT Sports, which brought you that game, is the home of the Olympic Winter Games, and you can catch every medal moment as well as your favourite Team GB stars across the TNT Sports and Discovery Plus app. Tomorrow, 8 more gold medals will be decided, including in the figure skating, where Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson look to secure Team GB's first Olympic medal since 1994. The only entertainment that we've got coming up for you, because this is Premier League match week 26, and every single one of the matches is available on TNT Sports and the Discovery Plus app, including 5 tomorrow night. So Liverpool, that should be an absolute cracker. Manchester City, Fulham, And then on Thursday night, we've got Brentford against Arsenal, that standalone fixture to end what is a fantastic week of football. It's been a good start so far for Newcastle. Jason Tindall just speaking to Kieran Trippier and Jacob Ramsey. What do they need to do better for Eddie Howe to go in at the break satisfied?
Well, I must say they've got to win there. They've had numerous opportunities. The amount of corners that they've had, and they've had really good quality deliveries as well. It's not like they've only hit the front post once. They've been really quality, and at the moment Spurs have got to be applauded that the fact that they've defended it really, really well. But you can't keep doing that. That amount of corners in the end, your opponents will score. But getting back to the injuries here, it doesn't look good, does it, for a bit? And the problem with Tottenham's injuries at the moment, it's not like a 4 or 5 day injury. Every injury, most of the injuries have all been really long term, like 6 weeks plus, and that's what's really crippling as a manager. You can cope with 4 or 5 maybe in your squad, but not the amount that they've had through this season already.
Charlison, Maddison, Romero, sitting there tonight. There's the list of absentees, including Romero. That's 12. I don't want to lose Wilson Audebert tonight. Thomas Frank has been dealt a bit of a tough hand, actually. I don't care who you are. If you're missing that sort of level of player on a regular basis, you are going to struggle, aren't you? I mean, look, some of the performances have been questioned. Some of the fans aren't happy. They're going to have to bring Matisse Tell on to replace Audebert, who clearly isn't going to be able to continue. So there's more problems for the medical department to deal with.
Well, the good sign is he's actually walking off. He's obviously tweaked something, but he's actually walking off. He's not being carried off, or obviously you don't see him stretching at any time, but he's done something. Couldn't see it on the replay what he actually done, to be honest. But so hope it's not a long term.
Should we have a look just to see? Well, we can diagnose what the problem is here. He went down immediately, didn't he?
Oh yeah, it's his left foot, his landing foot as he jars, whether it's his ankle or his knee, look there, that's the jar, it just opens up the joint a little bit, and that's a sore, really is. But good thing that he's walking down that tunnel, and Tell will come on, and it's his opportunity now.
It's good that he's walking, Glenn, but it's not good that he's walking straight down the tunnel. It tells you that that problem is more severe. And you mentioned it earlier, Tottenham don't seem to get just the knock. They seem to get injuries that will players out for 5-6 weeks at a time.
Yeah, that's what's been crippling them.
Here is Simons trying to fashion a chance by bulldozering his way through the Tottenham midfield past the back line of Newcastle United. Both two clubs are dealing with a relentless schedule. Anyhow, also suffering with injuries, but Tottenham's injury list is almost unmanageable, really. Here's Willock, on the bound past Conor Gallagher, straight back by Conor Gallagher.
He just gets that ball in first, just glides past him, and he just brings it down, doesn't he? But that was the difference. I mean, Eddie Howe before the game said, we're not Charlie, not playing, we're resting him, he's had a blah blah blah, putting some fresh legs in, and Thomas Frank must be sitting there thinking, oh my words, how that luxury.
Well, he's probably had to rest Polina tonight because he's played so many games.
Good point, yeah. He's been playing in the back three, not so much on at the weekend, but they have been playing in Europe particularly well with the back three, but they're running out of defenders now.
Let's call up Basuma again to come into the team tonight. We had a great day against Manchester City a couple of weeks ago. It's Barnes, not by Gallagher. Injuries and delays might just have taken the sting out of the game for a minute, and Tottenham might be able to use that as a way of recalibrating, despite the fact they've been on the back foot for most of the 37 minutes we've had so far. They are yet to concede, so they're very much seeing the game. Guimaraes' cross. And the Ven away. Here's Tell. Turned up by Botman. Signed a new long-term contract at Newcastle United. Sven Botman. There's problems with injuries over his Newcastle career, but at his very best, he's a proper defender. Sliding that up to Tell. The wrestling match between him and Trippier. Langer wanted to get away with the ball. The free kick is given for Tottenham Hotspur. Now Simons. Ramsey across. Is that late by him? And the referee thinks so. Ramsey was not so sure.
Just catches him there, don't play the ball at all. It's a foul for me. Yeah, but it's interesting. Tell's come on and he's playing out on this left-hand side. Now, Simons hasn't gone over on the right-hand side where all the people was when he come off. So it looks like maybe they've pushed Gallagher out there. And they've put Xavi Simons just in behind Solanke. That might just work for them a little bit more. Because Simons has found it hard to track Trippier back all the way, and Spencer's had a 2v1 a lot of the time down this right-hand side. So let's look to see whether he stays out here on the left. And I think Gallagher's been told to play sort of within to out on the right-hand side.
Well, they were getting far too much joy Newcastle down the right-hand side, so they had to do something in terms of plugging that gap. Maybe Tell will do that. Spence. Ferguson's header. Tottenham will get it under control for Newcastle. Barnes. Carrying the ball well. Now Gordon. All three Newcastle forwards were on the starting blocks there on the edge of the area. Ramsey. Bruno Guimaraes. This is Trippier. Now Bruno Guimaraes again. It's a lovely ball into Trippier at the near post. Ramsey was running towards it, but Van de Ven spotted the danger, snuffed it out before it became a real problem. Trying to wriggle out of Barnes' grasp. From Archie Gray. Newcastle have won the ball high up once more. Willock. Ramsey. Paxar trying to get the better of him now. Tottenham have released the ball, but there's no one in front of Paxar. Ramsey is penalised again, and this time he's going to get a yellow card off Anthony Taylor.
Yeah, it didn't look
or was it looking for Saar? Simulation.
I didn't think he touched him. See, free play, that just goes down. I think he's run out of space, he's run out of time. He's running into bodies there. Ramsey just jumps and just hops and tries to get out the way. And the crowd are going to be booing here. Yeah, definitely deserves a yellow card for that, going down. No doubt about it.
That's the last thing that they need. Better central midfield player getting booked for simulation inside his own half. Seems a very unwise thing to do from Paxar. Guimaraes into the box. Headed by Chow, away by Solanke. Dropped in towards Dan Burn, who gets a little glancing header on it, but not enough power to trouble Vicario.
Couldn't get the power, couldn't get the direction. But again, it's another free kick that's launched into the box. Spurs have been dealing with those balls in there, but just a little nudge there from Saar. one of those situations, I think, Eddie Howe was saying, look, we've dominated the game, we've created so much, enough to have actually gone 1-0 up. He'd be really upset that they haven't going down that tunnel. And as for Spurs, well, if they can get a clean sheet, they play better into the South Stand every half. And they play, look at Man City last couple of weeks ago. They play much better. I don't know what it is, but they do. They'll play better second half.
Well, they'll have to, won't they? Because at the moment, it's Newcastle United who certainly look more likely to go on and win the game. You look at the attempts, the shots on target so far. It's one-way traffic. The Tottenham Hotspur crowd are going to be too happy at half-time if it stays like this. They need an injection of impetus, some inspiration, some creativity.
It's amazing. They're all static. Every white shirt I'm looking at, whoever's on the ball here, everyone's static at the moment. Off the ball.
Newcastle aren't an easy team to play. They approach most matches with a relentless intensity. They often apply a high press, man-to-man, in terms of aggression. High intensity off the ball. They need to get amongst the opposition. They fire each other up as well as the crowd, but Tottenham Hotspur have got to respond to that. Evan Njai scored for Everton. Here is Joe Willock trying to get into the box and try causing a problem, and he has. The former Arsenal man scores against Tottenham, and Newcastle United have a goal that has been coming since the whistle blew. It's a game of high stakes that neither can afford to lose, and Newcastle United have taken charge, and their dominance on the scoreboard now reflects their dominance on the field of play.
Well, that's one thing we spoke about. Boys down that side of the pitch were saying the same about the counter. And as soon as they lost the ball, Spurs, they give the ball away here, and there's a break. There's movement. You see the movement towards the ball, and then suddenly it's a spinning behind. Dragason's in trouble. There's a gap in between there. Van der Ven thinks he can get back, but no. It's like the timing of the run's been brilliant. Van der Ven just steps back a little bit, tries to block it. It's a really good finish. It's a really good finish. Lovely weighted pass from Ramsey. There he is, just steps away a little bit there. Just gives Willock the opportunity to just curl it in that bottom corner. There he is, Van der Ven, not getting tight. I think he thought there was a player in behind as well. There was Gordon. But it's a really fantastic finish, and it's what they've deserved.
Yeah, well, he doesn't score too many goals. He scored the equaliser in Paris in the Champions League, but that's it for the season. And Tottenham Hotspur may get a reprieve here because they are checking a goal for possible offside. Anthony Taylor just getting instruction from the VAR, who is Nick Hopton tonight. And they are freezing the run of Joe Willock and just trying to work out whether or not he is just in front of Mickey van der Ven. One old wait to decide whether or not this is offside or onside.
It's as tight as you'll ever see, actually. Real time.
We can't see whether or not they're drawing the lines on the crosshairs or not. But I think they're going to disallow the goal for a very, very slight offside here then.
Wow, I really thought the automated system would be the one that will show us that, but that does look so tight, doesn't it? It really, really does. And that's, I think that's the scenario when we're talking about maybe the offside should be from the back foot, because that would be a goal.
Well, look how tight this is.
Yeah.
It's a reprieve for Tottenham Hotspur.
If it was the back part of the body, actually, then, players going forward, they're there. Willock is leaning forward. It's your natural thing. You put the ball in there, I'm going to lean forward, and you're being punished for that. If it's the back foot, that I think Arsene Wenger mentioned, I think that would have been a goal.
Well, as I've been repeatedly told this week, the laws are the laws, Glenn.
Whether they think they're the right, correct laws is another thing.
Well, listen, you have to have a demarcation point. We're looking at a semi-automated offside graphic in the stadium. It looks a little bit unclear to me, but anyway, we'll have a look at it in a second. Here is Matty's Tell. Maybe that will spur Tottenham on to greater things because they've been on the back foot. We are now in the second of 5 added minutes at the end of the first 45. And he will be pretty disappointed that he thought he had the breakthrough. It was snatched away from him.
Here we go.
His head was the bit that was offside. Did you see that? Just about. There is tolerance built into the system, so they tell me if you are given offside with semi-automatic offside technology, you are definitely offside. It was time. Tottenham being criticised and jeered for going backwards once again, but it is that lack of movement ahead of the man on the ball which is causing them to retreat. He wanted the return from Tell, he didn't get it. Tell now finds Gallagher, but very quickly the ball is robbed and Newcastle are on the front foot. Harvey Barnes is speeding away down that left-hand side. Gordon's gone through the middle. Barnes has gone in front of Dragusin. It's going to be a free kick.
Anthony Taylor's right here. Might be a little hand on the back. Let's have a look. It's a really good foot race. Barnes slows down, just waits for the... There's not much there. He actually gave him a little nudge, but that's really good. I think Barnes was clever there. He just ran across him and just waited for that little bit of contact.
Bit of a problem here for the man who thought he'd scored the opening goal. He's just gone down on the halfway line. I think he's going to be okay. He's given a thumbs up to the bench, but he was down when that attack was developing. He just tapped the back of his hamstring there. Spurs have got to concentrate right at the end of the first half. Having had one let off, they won't want to concede just before the break. They've survived up until now from these set pieces. Guimaraes. Archie Gray puts it away. Comes back to Bruno Guimaraes. He doesn't look particularly comfortable, Willock. Here is Bruno Guimaraes again. Back to Elanga. Willock once again. Delivers the cross. Aimed it towards the far post. A great stop. Comes back to Malik Chow. It's in this time. Malik Chow opens the scoring at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Tottenham, who got a let off just moments ago, have now succumbed to a Newcastle United attack. It's a goal that's been coming. And Malik Chow is there once again. It's goal number 4 of the season for him, and more disappointment for Tottenham and Thomas Frank.
Yeah, it's a really, really good reactions from Chow. He actually gets up, wins the header, and off Vicario makes a really good save. Let's have a little look. Again, it's too easy down this right-hand side. They create a little bit of a triangle, come back to Willock. Not enough work to close the man and get the head down. Willock whips a fabulous ball in, I've got to say. He outdoes Archie. It's a really good save from Vicario, and you're asking your Spurs fans to follow up first, and it's Chow who's just had the header, lands better, quicker, and just pops it in. And again, it's something they've actually deserved. You've got to say they've been the better side by far at the moment.
And it's symptomatic, isn't it, that it was a Newcastle shirt that reacted quickest to that stop from Vicario.
Yeah, they've dealt with most of the crosses coming in, Tottenham, but I said that, you know, there was going to be one stage where first contact was going to be a Newcastle player, and it's the second contact. He's headed it, great save, and then he's been quicker than anyone to actually achieve the goal.
Simons looking for Solanke, and Botman comes in from the blind side and does just enough to put him off.
Yeah, a little bit of movement. First time they've got in behind Trippier down here. It's a really good ball in. Botman does excellent because he's not favourite there. He really isn't. He's tucked in behind Solanke's got across the front of him, and he makes a fantastic defensive block there. He really does. That's one that I think Solanke might have thought if he gets a clean hit on that, it's in the back of the net.
Terrific from Botman, isn't it? Unfortunately for Tottenham Hotspur, it's been an all too familiar feeling. They are failing at home again. Newcastle lead thanks to a goal from that man Malik Thiaw. It's a result that could see them end the night in the top 10 if things go their way. They could have had one.
And he's got both of them, hasn't he, Hermanson? One against Forest, when ironically Nuno was the opposition manager, and then one at the weekend against Burnley, so no real surprise. He's kept his place in the team.
I think they're with the lower straight off the Wolves.
Still some big games for the league over the next couple of days. It won't determine everything, but it'll give us a wee idea. Tell you some big games.
It's good if you play first, if you get a positive result. It's not so good if you don't.
Still prepared for the first time. I think it's an opportunity.
Fernandes fancy finding Wan-Bissaka. He's got a bit more licence to find some freedom tonight. Fernandes plays slightly further forward. He did that really well against Sunderland when we were last here.
I thought he was superb. That particular game, I really did.
This is how Alec Juice. Somerville is the player in form. 5 goals in 5 games out there on the left-hand side for West Ham. He gets the cross in, flicked on and flicked wide. It's Jared Boyd. Plenty of pace on the cross, so he didn't need to do a great deal with a header.
No, it's the ball. It's a great ball. Whipped in, as you can see. It's perfect for somebody like Bowen. He's going to take some header to beat the goalkeeper from there, but it's a good effort. First sign, you've seen the two of them linking up, Dan.
It's a good atmosphere in here tonight. The last time we came, I'm not necessarily sure the crowd had quite believed what they were seeing, but now they've seemed to have come to terms with it, so it's a little bit live here from the start, but it always feels like that when you come here and watch West Ham in action against Manchester United. It does kind of bring out the best in the supporters here inside the London Stadium. Here's Maguire, and now Martinez, a very solid pair at centre-half for Manchester United. Interesting here that Fernandes has gone in behind and Hermanson came, and the fact he was there was enough, but the offside flag eventually went up anyway.
He just looked off. I've been watching him. He's making some good runs from that number 10 position. Look, he tries to arc his run, not left back. Closer than I thought it was. You can see what he does, Stanley. He arcs his run, goes back out to come back in. He might just fall, but I'm lucky there.
An early thought, Ali, would be I just hope we don't need the VAR too much tonight after the shenanigans at the end of the Liverpool-Manchester City match. I know that everybody's explained why it was the right decision, but we still don't have to like it as football fans, do we?
Correct. Dear me.
There's not too much involvement for Craig Pawson. There's been an important goal scored at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's more bad news for Thomas Frank. It's Malik Thiaw for Newcastle. So Spurs 0, Newcastle 1. And you can see the goal. So a Tottenham team that started the night under real pressure is under even more pressure. And they're not that far away from the relegation fight, I can tell you.
Well, I can tell you right now, if they lose that game tonight, they are right in the middle of it.
So 1-0 to Newcastle in North London, and it's still 1-0 to Chelsea in West London in their match against Leeds, and that's a fixture that directly impacts West Ham United here. So it's a big look for a lot of teams down there at the bottom who are all going to look at each other. There's Jude back to Hermanson. He's not really found too much of a rhythm, has he?
No, it's not good going yet. It hasn't good going. As you correctly mentioned a couple of minutes ago, they're just kind of feeling each other out, I think.
Plenty of time there for Harry Maguire to win his header. Souček then gets it on towards Castellanos. To intercepted over there by Jude. Straight to Kobe Mainu, who's hardly put a foot wrong on his return to the Manchester United team. Played forward now towards Brian and Bumo, and that's seen back to Hermanson by Wan-Bissaka. Look at the space now for Mateus Fernandes to pick up the ball. Freddie Potts and now Axel Disasi. Some of them. So much confidence for Somerville. Good save by Lamont. Excellent. The West Ham United left winger, who's playing out of his skin at the moment.
Brilliant. I don't think it's the corner. I think it's a comfortable save, yeah. But it's a good save. But you can see the difference in him, his confidence. He's just walking on the ball. He's wanting to come inside, he's wanting to get his shots away down. Good save, comfortable one though.
So Jared Bowen out to take the second West Ham corner tonight from the same side. Didn't beat the player at the near post, who was Mateus Cunha. Thomas Soucek, Freddie Potts. Some of them. Jude wraps his foot around the cross. Diogo Dallo was there to clear. And then Casemiro can clip it forward for Brian and Bruno to chase, which is interesting. Mavropanos has had to come across, and in the end did really well for West Ham.
Well, just a little bit of encouragement from West Ham last couple of minutes.
Just on Crescencio Somerville, Ali, hadn't scored in the Premier League since November 2022, and he's now scored in 4 successive Premier League matches.
Yeah, but the difference, I mentioned to you, the difference is incredible. He just can't get enough of it. He's demanding the ball, he fancies it. Confidence, it's an amazing thing.
Kobe Mainu, and on Luke Shaw. Slightly too aggressive though, Fernandes.
Yeah, Shaw's clever and just puts his body between Fernandes and the ball.
Big night for him tonight, Ali. 159 games for West Ham. I enjoyed them from Wallsend Boys Club as a teenager. Won the FA Youth Cup, the Intertoto Cup, and was relegated with them as well. So he crammed plenty in before his move to Tottenham.
Great career.
Through to Cunha. It's Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainu. Cunha's going to chase and keep the ball in on that side. Would have been made there by Bruno Fernandes. It wasn't a bad idea by Cunha, just didn't quite manage to squeeze the ball through.
Well covered with you.
First time tonight, it's May 2023, that Manchester United have named an unchanged team for 3 successive Premier League matches.
Tells you all you need to know, though. I said to you before the game. Tells you all you need to know.
Fernandes there ahead of Mainu, but they'll get the corner, Manchester United. Somerville stabbing it behind. At the weekend how good Manchester United are from set pieces this season, second only to Arsenal in the Premier League in terms of scoring from them, and it's been a weakness for West Ham all season, so this could be an important area tonight for both teams here. Taken by Brian and Brumo's got plenty of depth on it, plenty of distance, and it was aimed towards Maguire.
He's just trying to hang on to that back post there, hasn't he?
So TNT Sports, the home of the Winter Olympics. Every medal moment, as well as your favourite Team GP stars across TNT Sports and Discovery Plus from Milano Cortina. I was watching the combined today. The Americans, USA, one was supposed to win it with the best slalom skier in the world, Mr. Opalia. I was hooked.
What happens?
I was hooked. Well conceded there by Shaw.
We've hit the post with a few medals, haven't we?
Yes. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been great. It's a silly challenge, isn't it? It's facing away from goal. You don't really see it, just leave it.
So they've got height in the team. Neither Mavropanos nor Disasi have scored yet this season. In fact, Disasi hadn't played a game until the weekend. So there might be a bit of rust for the player on loan from Chelsea. Souček always a threat from a situation like this if they get the delivery right. So the responsibility will fall on the shoulders of Jared Bowen. So many players crammed into Manchester United's 6-yard box here. Has to be better than that.
It's poor, isn't it? You can just feel the crowd disappointed that they're prepared to cut him a bit of slack. And probably they should.
He scored the last 2 times he's played against Manchester United here. Jared Bowen, the West Ham captain.
Penalty winner, if I remember, wasn't it?
Yeah. Last season, Ali, an injury time penalty to win the match, so he kept his cool under pressure. He's got 2 in his last 3 as well, so he's one of the West Ham players in form at the moment with this recent revival. Against Somerville's an interesting battle on that side. There's Nuno, did the double over Manchester United with Forest last season. He lost his job at Spurs after a defeat against them in 2021. And he was on the bench for Porto the night that they won at Old Trafford, and Mourinho did the knee slide all those years ago. It took a while, but now he's got West Ham playing how he wants them to play. It's excellent tracking back, isn't it, by Joshua Bruno defensively for Manchester United there.
Nice. They looked it really well.
Bruno Fernandes and back again, the Brazilian now flowing forward here from Manchester United. Here's Dalot. Ahmad's got a chase on, and it was a forlorn chase, and it got out. It wasn't a very good pass at all, but Dalot.
It's too heavy, wasn't it? It's too heavy. But lovely little play. Exchange of passing in the middle of the park. We're going to see it again. Look at this. Cunha, lovely. Lovely little give and go with Fernandes. And this is a heavy touch, heavy pass. Too much on it. He might have got there a little bit earlier actually, but still not the best of balls.
Nice and sharp defensively over there. Mainu to Casemiro. It's won back well there by Somerville. In went Martinez.
Yeah, good tackle, good challenge. Had to win the ball and he did.
Martinez and Maguire have started together 4 times this season. They've won all 4 games. They've also had clean sheets in the wins against Manchester City and Spurs. So he's got his centre-back pairing now that both of them are fit.
It's a surprise.
Shaw with a chance to cross. Stabbed behind for the corner by Mavropanos. It's a murky night. It's been raining for the majority of the day. A dank night in the East End. Corner here for West Ham to defend. It's cleared off the line by Wan-Bissaka. Luke Shaw hits Xhaka was in exactly the right place for West Ham.
Well, we saw the free kick at the weekend, didn't we? The set play, the corner. This is brilliant. That's a great ball, because I'm looking at it initially, I'm thinking, has he mishit it? No, he hasn't. Brilliant goal line clearance of Wan-Bissaka. Saved the day for West Ham. But again, excellent set play.
So after the game, didn't he, Michael Carrick, that Johnny Evans is the man who's kind of overseeing the set pieces at the moment. So we gave Johnny Evans and the set piece coach all the credit on Saturday for the corner that Mbumo scored from, and that was another one that they clearly tried and liked.
Excellent. Because it's amazing, I'm looking at the call, I'm thinking, he hit that properly, then I saw the actual move unfold.
Chasing down there is Gallo, but it's a skinny surface, so that kind of pass has to be spot on. Let's have another look at it.
Excellent shot comes in. Wan-Bissaka defended superbly well. Just covering his goalkeeper there.
One thing I would tell you, Luke Shaw's not scored a goal since January 2023, and after that it might be a while longer if they aren't going in.
I think you told me that on Saturday for the call.
So 0-0. Lallans has made a good save to deny Somerville with a good effort. And then Wan-Bissaka, the former Manchester United player, clearing a Luke Shaw shot off the line from the Manchester United corner.
In the first half against City, and they turned it round in that second half, and they've got to do it exactly the same. It's got to have a little bit more passion about their play, with the ball and without it. You know, they're pressing, but it's half-hearted press. With the ball, they haven't had enough ideas.
And tactically, we noticed that in the first half, when Odegaard went off, they brought Talon but stationed him on the left-hand side. Maybe to stem the flow of attacks that were coming down that way. It means Gallagher is attacking down the Tottenham Hotspur right. What will Polinia add to the centre of the park? And does that just give the little bit more freedom for Simons to try and express himself?
Yeah, Simons is definitely he's gone in behind, in front of those two, you know, Simon and Polinia. So he's got to be in that little position there, in the number 10 position.
Given away by Vicario. And here is Bruno Guimaraes arriving on the edge of the penalty area. Now Barnes. Trying to skip past Conor Gallagher. Away by Dragossi. Newcastle start the second half as they finish the first. Tottenham guilty of giving the ball away to Newcastle to invite the start of this attack. Burn, Ramsey, now Anthony Gordon trying to weave his way past the Tottenham Hotspur defence. It goes out for a goal kick.
There's a real nervousness in the stadium and on the pitch there. When the ball goes into the 18-yard box, Tottenham's now, there's a real sort of feeling like, get it away, there's a panic sort of feeling.
Well, he scored the goal that has put Newcastle in front, and it makes him the joint top-scoring defender in the Premier League, alongside the two Tottenham central defenders, one of which is not available tonight. The other one's got work to do again here, with Elanga getting in behind Jed Spence, going down under pressure. There was collision between the two. The referee didn't give anything, but again, Tottenham have given the ball away here. This is Willock. Trippier. Elanga trying to get it back to Trippier again. But Tottenham haven't started brightly yet. Certainly the Tottenham Hotspur faithful wanted a little bit more at the beginning of this second half. Trying to slide that through to Joe Willock. Willock trying to get it back towards Gordon. It's gone down again here, Willock. The ball's come back to Anthony Gordon. It's taken a deflection off Gallagher. It's going to go out and away for another corner for Newcastle United. Well, there was a shout for a penalty. Referee and VAR both said no.
Yeah, there's a slight nudge again, but I think it was a similar sort of nudge that we had in the first half with Solanke. Yeah, just trying to get back goal side. There's not enough there for me. Really, there isn't. But Newcastle have picked up the reins again in this second half. They've started this second half really on the front foot again. And for me, Solanke's got to stay up front a little bit. Even when Spurs win the ball on the edge of their box, he's got to be a release man. He's coming from too deep.
In by Bruno Guimaraes, touch goalwards. Jacob Ramsey. It was only the intervention of Dragossi that stopped that from going on goal.
Yeah, again, a little bit loose there. No one picking him up. And that's Dragusin that actually closes him down in the end. Just gets a little block in there. Fortunate. Ramsey really knows he's got a chance there.
Gimarash again. A deep delivery this time. Headed down. Ramsey's free. It comes back out towards Botman. Willett gets there first. He goes down under pressure from Simmons. The referee once again waves away the protest of the Newcastle players. Might have been contact there. Whether it was enough to generate a penalty is a different matter. It certainly looks as if he kicked through the back of him.
Yeah, he was in an awkward position, wasn't he, Simmons? He was trying his best to poke the ball. Let's have a little look here. It comes back in. They're fortunate that Dragusin again gets the block. I don't think there's enough contact, is there? Let's have a look. Will it there? I think there is contact. And he makes it into a dive, doesn't he? Dives a little bit too much, but definitely contact there.
Well, certainly any hope that the Tottenham supporters had that their team would come out reinvigorated and renewed have not been realised.
No, they haven't had the ball, have they? Again, it's been all Newcastle, defending free kicks and corners and opportunities, half chances. Spurs have really got to find some composure here, and again, it's that lack of movement off the ball that's really causing them a problem.
Harassment from the Newcastle midfield is certainly causing a problem too. Now Tell's got a chance to cause an issue here for Newcastle. But his shot all wrong. No trouble at all for Nick Pope.
Decision there, Sam. His decision's wrong. He's got to go. There's a great overlap from Spence. We talk about movement, lack of movement. Well, look at Spence there. He's bringing him in. He's bringing him in. He's bringing him in there. Just slide him in, and you're right in behind Newcastle. You've got licence to kill. Pull it back across the goal, and it was the wrong decision from Tell. The only right decision if he puts it in the top corner.
The issues that you have when you recruit a lot of young players and expect them to come into your team as well. Decision making isn't always perfect. Experience head on the ball now with Conor Gallagher, but he can't get away from Jacob Ramsey, who's fouled. It's a free kick.
It's a difficult little position for him. He's been asked to play out there, maybe to plug a gap on the defensive side, but he's not a right winger, is he? He hasn't got the pace to go out on the outside and really go away from players. So it's always going to be a little bit difficult for him. He's going to have to be purveying the ball, time and space if he can get some, and then purvey the ball from there.
Tigerish character, Conor Gallagher, is a proper professional. He actually started 50 games for Atletico Madrid last season. The second goal. Back here against City. Look on by Burke. Barnes goes beyond him. Gray comes out to meet him. Hit by Bruno Guimaraes. Well, the first game of Eddie Howe's Newcastle reign was a 3-3 draw against Thomas Frank's Brentford back in November 2021. He wasn't actually there. He tested positive for COVID that day and had to watch a live feed of the match whilst isolating in a hotel. Communicating with his staff all the way through. Thomas Frank's record against Eddie's teams is not great. He's won just one of his 11 managerial meetings with the current Toon boss. And he's behind again here. But Gray funneling his way past Byrne and getting beyond Burns might be doing something about that. It's still Archie Clark. And British Town can't steer it goalwards.
Right.
What a chance for Tottenham.
Yeah, great chance. Gray does really well here.
Well, half an hour
confusion there, but he's away. Keeps his head. Drives straight into the penalty area. He does the right thing. He looks up. A little pullback there is just maybe a stretching, isn't he, Tel? To be fair to him, he can't get over the top of the ball. But Gray, really good play there. Looks up, has a little glance, uses Solanke and the defenders to come in, and Tel just couldn't smother it. I just think he maybe probably too much pace on the cross.
Goal scoring might not be over for the night. The previous 61 meetings between these two have produced 196 goals, which is an average of 3.5 nearly a game. Never been a 0-0 in the Premier League era. Certainly not going to get one of those tonight. The anger went down rather spuriously. Gray. That's up. Driving it forward. Driving Tottenham forward, forcing Nick Pope into a save for probably the first time on the night.
Better. At least it was on target.
Well, they haven't had many chances. That's the first one that's tested the parts of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, speculative, wasn't it, from a real distance, but it's better from
That's cool. Cole Palmer.
You'd imagine that the Pope would always cope with that, needed to go top corner on one of the sides, but no, it's better from Spurs, but you know, it's too late in the game to start the match. You know, look, 54 minutes in, and suddenly this energy and the crowd.
Cole Palmer too, yeah.
Goal, the South Stand, it's like a different Tottenham out there again. Same thing happened against Man City.
That's nice.
It's not entirely full tonight. We noticed it just after kick-off, actually, that there were a lot of empty seats both in the North Stand and on the sides of the ground. And Thomas Frank, who has come in for a little bit of criticism, needs another comeback, needs more results. He's pleaded for patience, he's pleaded for time. He's a very articulate figure. Whenever you speak to him, he's very calm about his role and about what they're trying to build here. But he does need results. He also needs performances too. Home form here over a long period of time has just not been good enough. And that's not just him. It's stretching back the years. Last year was difficult, especially in the Premier League. Mitigating circumstances then, there's mitigating circumstances now, but you can't keep losing at home. Javi Simons smashing that into Ramsey. Simons again. Stops. Quintel just drifted into the middle. Gallagher's gone out to the far side. Look for the return there. They're under the foul by Joe Willock.
Just goes for the 1-2 there. Little flick inside, Willock just blocks him off. Spurs get an opportunity to put the ball in the box, but the centre backs up. This place will change if they get a goal. If they get one under their belt, I tell you what, this will be a game on.
It's a 90-minute game, not a 45-minute one. Newcastle maybe will feel aggrieved that they didn't get further ahead in that first half, but all the while it's 1-0. Spurs are very much in the match. Obviously, and Van der Ven both up from the back. I think you're in there as well. The British free kick, it might come through to drag us in. Here's Gray trying to keep it alive. Well done by Willock. Ramsey was in there too. Assistance from Tell, got it back for Tottenham.
Oh, good goal.
In by Simon, Sap comes Pope. It's a good grab. And he immediately wants to get Anthony Gordon away.
He was unlucky actually. I think he needed to kick it. He tries it with a throw, but Anthony Gordon was away. He was goal side. No one, no Spurs defender goal side of him.
He is capable. Did it against Benfica in the Champions League. A huge throw out to Harvey Barnes, which generated a goal.
Probably a little bit slippy tonight, running on the ball.
Guimaraes thought he was fouled. The referee did too.
Yeah, lovely little bit of skill there.
Chelsea in front by 2-0 now. Cole Palmer with another penalty. It's his third in a week, actually, after scoring twice from the spot in the game at Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is the table as it stands. With Tottenham and Leeds both on 29 points. Only 5 points ahead of West Ham, who are currently drawing 0-0 with Manchester United. And although they weren't happy about the result at Old Trafford at the weekend, they'll be a lot happier if Michael Carrick can do his old team a favour tonight and beat West Ham, Tottenham. That was late from Dan Burn. It's going to be a yellow card.
Send the prickle.
decision. It's a yellow card. He's attempting to play the ball. Gallagher just toes it, just gets there first, toes the ball forward, and Burns is committed at the same time as he's towing it. Consequently, they're going to bring the way down. So, quick decision from the referee.
Well, all of a sudden, there's a bit of noise away to our right-hand side as the South Stand, that raking, huge throng of Tottenham supporters tries to suck the ball into the net. Xavi Simons mark this towards the far post. It comes back towards Dragassi. Cleared away by Ramsey first, and then the escape is on for Newcastle. I don't think Willock is going to get there. Newcastle winless in 5 in all competitions, something they haven't endured for a long time now, since the first few months of Eddie Howe's reign. There's been a little bit of irritation amongst their support about the lack of signings in the January window. Few outgoings, no senior incomings. But a victory tonight certainly will make the mood on Tyneside a little bit better. They haven't completed the job yet, and they know that. New signing Ryan has scored for Bournemouth away at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. It's 1-1 now over on the Discovery Plus app.
So bad.
Vicario. By Trippier, chested down by Elanga into the path of Gordon. Willock has made the run. His cross was all wrong.
It's a shame for Newcastle as well. 4 bodies in the box, really going for the cross. It's one thing I've been impressed with them actually. When they have got wide and they've got crosses in, there's been plenty of bodies hitting the box without leaving themselves too open actually for the break.
Just relieve a bit of the pressure because Newcastle had put the press on. He was running back, but he was fouled by Jed Spence. Yellow card for him.
Let's have a look at this. Yeah, it's a poor ball from Gallagher actually, but Spence is committed for the ball. Doesn't take the ball whatsoever, and correct decision from the referee.
First appearance for him in 2 weeks after picking up a calf problem. He is probably the only fit fullback they've got at the moment. Trippier to take the free kick. Byrne trying to get up there, comes down to Solanke and nudges it into the path of Tell. I think he's made a really good run through the middle of the park. Barnes is trying to get hold of him. Gallagher. Get the cross in the end, Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, I think he was desperate to try and get a corner.
Goes again. Trippier away. Out for a corner. That'll be the first corner of the game for Tottenham Hotspur. It's only taken 63 minutes.
It's ironic, isn't it? Newcastle have had so many corners with good deliveries, but managed to get a goal from there. And Spurs' first one, you say, Sam. See what happens.
First corner of the game for Tottenham Hotspur. Can they make the most of it? Simon's delivery. Pope is hemmed in, and it's gone to
Yes! Come on! Tottenham have equalised. Leeds are back in it. Goals, goals, goals. Archie Gray. And that's two predictions I think we'll get right. That's a 2-1 Tottenham and 3-1 Chelsea.
Isn't it? As we just said, so many corners, Newcastle Spurs have got 1 out of 1. Pope does get injured a little bit, but not too much. I don't think there's a real foul there. Sarr does really well on that back post. It's whipped into that back area, a little knockdown, and Archie Gray's the man there to just knee, is it off his knee? Pope saying that no, it's a lovely little volley, inside volley. Side foot volley, there it is, back into the danger zone. There you go. Now Pope is really, he's having a little look. I don't see it. Yeah, it's going to be a goal.
Well, the VAR suggesting that Van der Ven was standing his ground, Botman and Van der Ven were wrestling, and that Pope almost sort of backed into him. The goal will definitely stand, and Archie Gray is on the score sheet, and so are Tottenham Hotspur, and for all Newcastle's dominance, Tottenham very much back in the game, Glenn.
Very much so, yeah. And they've come out after the first 5 minutes of the second half. It has been all Spurs, and they look like they were going to score. But there's a goal still in this Newcastle team.
Arms into the box. They've shown resilience in recent games against PSG and in the game against Brentford on Saturday before succumbing to a late goal. Here is Gordon. Kicks off Polinia. It's going to be another corner. They got themselves into a good position, Newcastle, and then it's again another moment where they've lost the lead. I mentioned it earlier, they've given away more points than anybody else from winning positions this season, and all of a sudden the Spurs crowd are up, and the atmosphere in the stadium has changed.
They're the little doubts now that they've got to fight. Newcastle players out there and the staff and everyone, the subs, they've got to fight that in their minds. They say, well, not again. They've got to respond.
Red card.
It's a deep cross. Heading
Everton
down,
back
and
to
loose for
10.
Ramsey to try and strike. Blocked and
Joke
knocked away eventually by Pamsar.
It's getting worse for Everton.
Guimaraes holds it up. Down by Botman. Chow is in there again. It's going to fall nicely for Barnes, who strikes it. Well blocked by Van der Ven. Simon's trying to escape. It's stopped. And that's going to be a yellow card for simulation for Xavi Simons. The second one we've had tonight. The first one was for Pamsar. The second one for Simons.
He skips it by him, and yeah, he takes his hands away. The experienced Trippier just takes his hands away correctly. What a block this is. Barnes thinks he's got a goal opportunity, but Van der Ven just throws everything at him to get that block. Spins out there, and that's when you think Xavi Simons is away, but it's really good refereeing. Really good refereeing.
All into the box again, and Botman wins the header. Barnes waits for it to come down, and it's blocked by Archie Gray. Willock went to pull the trigger, was robbed by Simons, and now Tottenham look to escape. And Gallagher can't find the pass. He just kicked the ground there, Glenn.
I think he did. I think there was a little bit of a panic there, but he didn't see. He didn't see the picture, did he?
Gordon wants to chink away from Gallagher. Makes space for himself. He's got Byrne down the left-hand side. He plays it centrally. It's in. Oh, it's a brilliant goal from Ramsey. It's a fantastic finish. Ramsey with the finish. Gordon with the dancing feet. And Newcastle are back in front. It's a super Newcastle United goal. A spark of brilliance when Newcastle needed it most. Disappointment for Tottenham Hotspur, more joy for Newcastle. A first goal in Newcastle colours for Jacob Ramsey, and Newcastle lead by 2 goals to 1.
Yeah, it's a really clever goal. It really is a clever goal. And just showing Gallagher there, we had the opportunity to play either player down the left-hand side, and they respond. Newcastle, to be fair, since the goal, since Spurs scored, they have not put their heads down. They've gone again. They've had corners, they've had free kicks, and this is a beautifully taken goal. Gordon does well. Little dummy comes back, and there's too much space in there. In the 18-yard box, all them players there shouldn't have that space, but what a clever little finish. Sort of shoves it on, really, just guides it on into that corner. And I think Vicario is absolutely disgusted with his teammates that they were allowed that sort of space in that position of the 18-yard box. My word. But it was a clever goal.
It's a big moment for Jacob Ramsey. He's had a busy couple of weeks. He played 90 minutes against PSG, Liverpool, Manchester City. He only played 3 minutes of the weekend.
Yes.
He scores tonight for Newcastle.
It's in.
Willock has been on the
2-2.
floor by the halfway line for quite some moments. Anthony Taylor is telling him to come off. Gallagher is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Randall Kolo Mwani. Newcastle going to make some substitutions as well here, I think, Glenn, just to shore up this lead.
Yeah, you imagine so. They've worked really hard to get themselves their noses ahead again, and I think they might even go into a... Let's have a look, see what they do. They might go into a 3 at the back, I imagine.
Willox has changed his boots, so that's his substitution, his own little personal one. They did call Tonali back just a moment ago, but he's now gone back down the touchline to warm up. There was a collision here between Dragusin and Gordon off the ball. Just watch Dragusin here.
Yeah, he does his linebacker. Done it at Super Bowl last night, and was a little bit of the linebacker blocker. They all do it though.
Well, it felt like the Super Bowl went on till last night because there weren't many points, especially in the first 2 quarters of the game.
Yeah, and Anthony Taylor actually seen it. If you've seen it, he's saying that's a foul. You can't do that. But a lot of teams do it. If you watch it from goal kicks like that, going back to the goalie, they'll all try and step in front.
Oh, like Clive Allen went to the NFL to be a kicker, didn't he, for a little while?
He did. Not a bad little job, is it? Go in and just kick it over the top.
Here is Gordon. And Tottenham were pretty happy he kicked it over the top. Just came a little bit free on the edge of the penalty area for him.
Goal stands.
Tottenham have got to respond again.
2-2.
The London Monarchs that Clive Allen played for in NFL Europe.
Good info, that one, Sam.
Too many people that can say they've played in the top flight of English football and played in NFL Europe. Foul by Van der Ven on Gordon.
Where I was looking, he looks like he's just had a tug of the shirt, isn't he? I thought he just tugged him down. Again, a good decision from Anthony Taylor. He's got most of the decisions correct tonight.
Well, Newcastle back in front. They weren't behind for very long. Just 3 minutes between the goals. Flick on by Botman, looking for Anthony Gordon, away by Polinia. Willock with a wild swipe at the ball, and then Tell. Penalty was fouled by Willock. There is going to be a yellow card. He went for his pocket there, the referee.
He just catches him, doesn't he?
He's decided against booking him in the end.
I don't think it's a bookable offence. I think it's a foul, yes, but stop the momentum. Spurs were on the break.
Colomani. Trying to get beyond Dan Burn now. Manages to dig out a cross. Santelli's coming in at the far post. He can't direct his header. On goal.
That was good play, wasn't it, from Nawani? That he picks the ball out here wide, little jinking, body swerve, pace, change of pace, and a little dink to the back post. And you're thinking, he's got a run on Trippier. Trippier doesn't sort of, he jumps, he takes his ground away, does well, Trippier, actually. Just stops him from getting a free header. As the ball's coming in there, you're thinking Tell's got a bigger size than Trippier. He's going to score there, but Trippier does well.
Off comes Alanga, on comes Jacob Murphy. Newcastle change. And goal scorer Ramsey's coming off as well. And Ramsey, Jacob Murphy coming on, and Sandro Tonali, and that goal from Jacob Ramsey is the one that has put Newcastle in front.
What a good player to bring into the now, just as they 2-1 up, just so they want to steady the ship in that midfield, make that a real hard-working three in there and close Tottenham down. Perfect scenario for Eddie Howe.
Just gives Tottenham something else to think about on that right-hand side with Jacob Murphy, who lasted 45 minutes of the weekend after returning from his hamstring injury, which kept him out for 10 days in January. Still yet to unleash Voltemada or Johan Wissa. Here's Tonali, looking for Barnes. Barnes trying to get past Pat Mato Sarr. Well, Chelsea were 2-0 up against Leeds United, but not anymore. 2 goals in quick succession. Okafor getting the second of those, and all of a sudden, it's 2-2. It might just be the scrappiest goal you've ever seen over on TNT Sports 4, but it is a goal that equalises for Leeds at Stamford Bridge. And there is a little bit of a rivalry between those two that goes way back to the 70s. And because of that Leeds goal, Tottenham are on the verge of dropping to 16th in the Premier League table. And when that news emerges, it will not be popular around here, and it certainly won't be great for Thomas Frank.
No, I think when you look at that, those standings there, 16th, 29 points, it's the reality hits you straight between the eyes if you're a Spurs fan.
Well, the last thing they need now is for West Ham United to take the lead against Manchester United.
Well, that's absolutely right. United have been on a fabulous run, but so West Ham have pulled a few nice results for themselves, haven't they? So there's still time for Spurs to get a goal here, but they've got to start playing with a little bit more energy like they did at the beginning of the second half.
And look, no one really thinks that Tottenham are going to be in a relegation fight. Shouldn't be in a relegation fight. Certainly people don't believe they're going to go down, but it should be, with this stadium, this income, the amount of money that's been spent, an impossible fight to get involved in. But it's not. They're going to be down there. They're going to have to scrap. And he said yesterday, we have to realise the situation we're in. Do they?
Well, of course they do. I mean, you just got to look at the league. The league doesn't lie. It's an old saying, but it's true. Over the course of 38 games, and you can't keep losing as many points as you do here at home. But they're not out of this game yet.
Here's Tell. Tackle from Shaw. Newcastle turn it over. Willock gallops forward. Trippier away before it can reach Matis Cell. Bruno Guimaraes recovers his footing. Simmons gets across there. It's now for a Newcastle United throw. The fixtures don't look good going forward though, do they? I mean, Arsenal is their next one. And then it's Fulham away, Palace at home. They've got the Champions League last 16 midweek before they go to Liverpool away. And another game against either Galatasaray, Juventus Club Brugge or Atletico Madrid. And then it's a huge one against Forest here. And then Sunderland away. And that's a difficult place to go.
But that on paper is hard, what you've just said there, Sam. But the reality of it is to have the amount of players unavailable to you and to go through all them games. That is going to be the massive problem Spurs have.
Especially with Alderweireld picking up an injury. Doggy's just picked up a big injury at the weekend against Manchester United, which is going to keep him out for a month or more. Well, they don't have the FA Cup to worry about, that is for sure. Tottenham Hotspur, they went out in the last round, but we've got loads of games for you, including Hull against Chelsea on Friday night. Looking forward to that one. Burton against West Ham Saturday. Aston Villa Newcastle at just after 5. Liverpool and Brighton clash on Saturday night as well. And there are 3 more games on Sunday, which climaxes with Arsenal Wigan. And then Monday night, Macclesfield, who've already knocked out Crystal Palace, welcome Brentford. TNT Sports and Discovery Plus for that. It's a really difficult situation that Thomas Frank has found himself in, because he's already brought on Matis Tel, Nando Kolo Muani, João Palhinha. Arguably, they're the only 3 senior players that he's got on the bench tonight, Glenn.
Well, yeah, I think it's right that he's brought them on, and they've actually had a positive effect on the game.
Tel trying to force an effort, which deflects off Malik Chow, goes out for a corner, and bearing in mind what happened from the first one they had, they might be optimistic of causing more damage for Newcastle from this.
A speculative shot that gains the corner, yeah, as you say, the body's in there. Newcastle have conceded one already. Again, there's a picture of Gallagher who's obviously been taken off, but he understands. You need the forward players on there at the moment.
10 minutes to go. Spurs got a late rescue act up at St James's Park. Dragusin trying to get another one, poked with a big punch away. And Gordon might escape here. And Vicario and Gordon were in a foot race, and there was almost a huge worry around this stadium that Gordon was going to get on the end of that. Good starting position from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was good starting position. Luckily he was in that position as well, because the apprehension between the 2 players there was incredible. And that sums up Tottenham at the moment, I'm afraid. Spin from Tel.
It's a yellow card for Andreas Bjorksen, who was once upon a time the set-piece coach at Manchester United. He's now in charge of set-pieces and other things at Tottenham Hotspur. And a bit away. Spins the ball into the air. Barnes. A lot of the talk will be about Tottenham Hotspur if the result stays the same, but Newcastle United have not been on a great run themselves, and they will feel as if they've got to try and manage their way through the last 8 minutes of this game. They have conceded the most goals in the Premier League in the last 15 minutes of games, 14 of them. And some match-changing games. Tel in towards Solanke. It's a good header away by Botman. Lake Kramer and Newcastle United do go hand in hand. Actually conceded 11 after the 90-minute mark, more than anybody else. Spurs themselves have conceded late goals recently too. A late equaliser at Burnley. It's come to a late defeat at home to West Ham. Callum Wilson scoring a 90th minute winner. And lost to a 90th minute goal at Bournemouth. This story might not be over yet. Burn. Tonali. Positioned from João Palhinha. Kolo Muani. Trying to get away from Bruno Guimaraes. Moani again. This is Papsar. Now Tell. Moani being harassed by Bruno Guimaraes, who does brilliant to wriggle away.
Yeah, really good play from Guimaraes there. He's put his hand up there. He's got to be saying he wants a substitution. I don't know if he's done something there.
A week or so out with an injury, came back very quickly. Doesn't look as if he's moving 100% comfortably. He's grimacing as the ball comes out to Gray. Hope should eat that up. Newcastle have got concern over their captain.
Saying he's okay now. Quick recovery.
He hates missing games. They hate it when he misses games, Glenn, because they're hardly ever winning when he's not there. Just help that ball over the top for Tonali to chase. Spurs are struggling with a crippling list of absentees, but they have had a difficult last couple of years. They lost 26 games last season. That was their worst ever number of recorded losses. There's always going to be a hangover from that. They weren't going to go from losing 26 to going invincible, Glenn, but this would be a 15th defeat of the season. You must have thought that it would be a little bit more stable than this.
Oh, absolutely. I think every fan did when Thomas Frank come. You know, it's one of those things. We keep talking about the injuries, but there's the quality that's missing as well that are injured for a length of time. That's the problem. And you know, it is a fact. It is a fact. If you haven't got your best players out for a prolonged period of time, you're going to lose more games than you're going to win in some respects. But it's the way the performances have been at home here. They've not been accomplished at all. Always on the back foot, they seem to be.
Seamless. Now to Gray. Dropping a little bit deep now, Newcastle, inviting a little bit of pressure. Magazine. Nice a ball. Lots of Tottenham Hotspur supporters just starting to drift down the exits now. Those empty seats that were behind the goal, away to our left-hand side, getting a little bit emptier. Newcastle have made 6 visits to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, all in the Premier League, and they've won more games here than they've lost. There'll be 8 matches in this division without a win for Spurs, and that kind of run was unthinkable before the start of last season. Cross from Tell. Moani can't get away from Harvey Barnes. Newcastle have worked really hard tonight. Tottenham haven't really come up with enough to test their back line.
Oh my God!
Few and far between. Statistics tell you that story.
West Ham lead.
Yeah, they had a 20-minute flourish, didn't they, Spurs? But Newcastle have weathered the storm. They've come back from going a deficit of a goal. They've responded really well, you've got to say.
Montemada comes on and Willock comes off. There's a yellow card there for Jason Tindall from the referee, Anthony Taylor. He's asking the 4th official. There he is, standing next to him. Why that's the case. Gavin Warder is the 4th official. He's just explaining it. And Jason Tindall still in his ear asking the questions. Will Asula coming on for Anthony Gordon, the other change. He's a big personality.
He's certainly trying to explain something himself, isn't he?
Byrne with a header. Van der Ven away. Picked up by Murphy. Couldn't quite Van der Sula. Tottenham bring it away. It's a foul by Bruno Guimaraes, which is probably going to end his night. It's a yellow card.
There's the foul. But, I mean, minutes ago, if he's pulled a hamstring there, minutes ago he was saying about coming off, and then he said he was okay, so he obviously had a contraction there.
Well, if you think that tonight is bad for Tottenham Hotspur fans, it's just got a whole lot worse. Because West Ham United have taken the lead. Thomas Soucek with the goal, tapping in front of Sonny Lomans.
That haircut
And if
left
it
away.
stays like that, there's big problems for Tottenham Hotspur, because this is what it does to the table. It means that Newcastle United's victory here will push Thomas Frank to within just 3 points of the relegation zone. And certainly that seat that he is sitting in is becoming more and more uncomfortable minute by minute, Glenn.
Yeah, there's only 3 points there now. If it stays like that, stays like this here at Tottenham and at West Ham, and that is reality now. You've got to look at that glaringly and say, look, in a relegation battle, boys.
It's only 2 wins in 17 in the Premier League for Tottenham Hotspur. That's why they're not happy. That's why they're disgruntled. Half-time, I was walking through the concourses. They were furious with the first half performance. Thomas Frank has
gone round him.
only won one of his 11 managerial meetings before tonight with Eddie Howe. It's going to be 1 in 12 unless they can come up with another late rescue act. Bruno Guimaraes comes off, and on comes Lewis Hall. And there will be 6 minutes added at the end of the 90. For Newcastle to hold on, and for Thomas Frank to try and find a way to drag his team level in this game and spare the blushes once more. Came back against Newcastle at St James's Park to draw 2-2. They came back from 2-0 down at half-time against Manchester City. It's in there somewhere. We've just got to unlock it.
Oh.
It's the first time we've seen Dragusin do this tonight. Throwing towards that near post, doesn't get enough distance on it. Masula is speeding away here, and he does have Murphy through the middle if he wants to release him. Decides to travel with it himself instead. So a combination of Spence and Dragusin.
I'll leave him. Getting China. Surprised.
Van der Ven. Simons. Dragusin. Now Simons again. They need a moment of magic from him. Van der Ven. Palhinha. Into the box for Dragusin, away by Botman. Back to Tell. An overhead kick from Solanke. It's blocked by Dan Burn. It comes back to Van der Ven again. And he can't find the finish. In the big moment.
Oh, that's a fantastic opportunity. Solanke there with the overhead kick. Look, it's beautiful. It's laid beautifully there. Sitting beautifully for Van der Ven. There's the overhead kick. He's scored some spectacular goals recently, but it's just ends up there. Look, just there. It's on the up. Oh, he doesn't hit it right, does he? Cuts across it too much. A little bit of a panic.
Well, he wouldn't have panicked in those circumstances. They need someone with his finishing ability. He scored a hat-trick against Newcastle once. It was a long time ago now. Hall. Barnes has made a really good run. Voldemar has just arrived in the box. They wanted to hold on to it as far away from their own goal as possible. It's going to be a goal kick. Anyhow wants them to manage this situation and get through it. They've dropped too many points from winning positions, Newcastle. They want to hold on here. They want to drive themselves up the table.
How's it finished?
The table doesn't look great for Tottenham Hotspur tonight, that's for sure. Newcastle could end the night in the top 10. Tottenham Hotspur are creeping down the table towards the dreaded dotted line, and he didn't want to talk about the R word yesterday. But they are in a predicament. Who's the player of the match, Glenn?
Well, for me, there's not really been one outstanding individual out on that pitch for 22. Newcastle have been the better team. But for me, Jacob Ramsey, the goal, the difference, the goal that he scored, I think, has made the difference between the two teams and kept his head beautiful. He's really worked hard in that midfield area.
Anywhere will do for Lewis Hall as time ticks away. 1 minute 15 seconds of added time to play. Are you concerned about relegation?
Of course, if West Ham win tonight, it's going to be 3 points. That's nothing. That's one game. And as you said, Sam, you've got to say you're in a relegation battle, a relegation fight, and the players have got to understand that. And the crowd have got to understand that. It is what it is. That's the reality. It's not what they want, but you know, every single point now they've got to scrap for.
Spurs were concerned in 2008 when Monday Ramos was the boss that they could get drawn into a relegation battle. David Pleat's team in 2004 when he was an interim charge had a bit of a wobble, but there has not been this much worry about the R word since maybe that game with Oldham in 1994 when Tottenham clinched survival in the penultimate game of the season. Most of us would bet that they aren't going down, but it's not a fight that Spurs should be having.
I actually feel, as a diehard Spurs fan since childhood,
away by Chow.
I feel that
Further clear by Dan Burn.
relegation.
We played our 6 minutes of added time. Not enough pressure on the Nick Pope goal. Is there one last chance for Spurs to salvage something? Unlikely. They haven't had the wit, they haven't had the craft, they haven't had the invention. Pat Matasar. Up there was Palinha. And it's an easy stop for Nick Pope, and it's victory for Newcastle United in the tussle of the troubled twosome. Shaky Spurs suffered more home discomfort. Thomas Frank didn't want to talk about relegation before this game, but if they don't get their act together very soon, then they won't be able to avoid talking about the shadow of the drop zone looming over them. Newcastle United needed that win almost as much as Tottenham didn't need that defeat. Eddie Howe has got on the time this time last year, but a failure to build on last year's triumph led to a lot of questions that maybe his team have begun to answer tonight. Jacob Ramsey with the goal that gives them all 3 points, but Tottenham Hotspur look forlorn. Things may be looking up for Newcastle and their boss, but the Spurs, they are looking nervously in the rear view mirror. Full time at a desolate, disappointed Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur have been beaten by Newcastle United, and they have been beaten by 2-1.
Thank you to Glenn and to Sam, and well, you can hear the discontent around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium here. The home fans far from happy with another defeat for Tottenham. It is now 8 matches without a win. And Les, I mean, you can hear it. The fans really, really upset with what they're seeing. Are they right to be?
Yeah, I think, first half, they've done what they've done most of the season, really. Second half, they came out and it looked like a totally different team. Me and Shay was saying, and as we was watching the game, it's a totally different Tottenham Hotspur in the second half. You can't wait until the second half till you're a goal down before you start performing. Well, you can, and then you'll end up where you are right now. There'll be discontent. You're now talking about you're 3 points off the relegation zone. Wow, it's tough times, and you can understand the supporters' anger at that.
Yeah, you can see the table on your screen there. If results stay as they are currently sitting, Tottenham drop down to 16th in the table. Newcastle, you can see there, have moved up to 10th, so a really good night for them, and we'll talk about them in a moment, but you can see the faces of these Spurs fans so disappointed by what they're witnessing. Can you put your finger, Les, on what is going wrong here? Because this stadium should be a fortress, and it's actually having the opposite effect.
Yeah, it certainly is, and confidence is a major thing in football, and Tottenham are obviously lacking any sort of confidence at the moment. You know, you look at the players that are missing, and unfortunately for Tottenham, all their mavericks, their players, their creative players are missing, and unfortunately, what they're going with at the moment, it's not good enough. Not good enough for Tottenham at this moment in time, and desperate times. But desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, well, this was a huge, huge victory for Newcastle as well. Eddie Howe just addressing the fans there, and you can see exactly what that means to him and what it means to the players as well. Jacob Ramsey with his first Newcastle goal tonight, and what an important one it was, Shane.
I think it also shows you what Eddie Howe means to these fans as well, because they're absolutely buzzing. It's a fantastic victory for Newcastle. Only the third in the Premier League all season away from home. So again, it's nice to see Eddie's reaction. Actually, you know, they show the emotion. You know, every single manager in the Premier League's under pressure. Away victory here at Tottenham
Haircuts
is a
back
big
on.
result for Eddie and his team. And again, they've got 3 more away games after that, so it'll take a lot of belief and confidence from the way they played tonight. I think first half they were absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Tottenham had moments second half, but over the course of the game, you know, I really think they deserve the 3 points.
Do you think that it's perhaps
the haircut's back on.
But I think you can see just
The haircut's back on.
and just how much perhaps weight of expectation was on the shoulders coming in.
I think having Kieran Trippier had awards before and over as well. I think Chip really pushed him out in front of the crowd. It's nice
That's
to
it,
see,
the haircut's
it's
back on.
to see how much, you know, a victory means to the manager. They work so hard. Eddie's a workaholic, he really is, and it's just nice when all your sort of plan comes together away from home, especially.
Offside.
Them fans, look at the
Right,
fans
the
behind the
score.
goal. They're you know, the long way on a wet night like this, they come travel to London and support their team, but they were brilliant again tonight, the fans, and Eddie just wanted to show his appreciation for them.
And those players know how important tonight was. It could have gone either way. And as you can tell by the reaction of the players and the manager, how important this win here tonight was.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see just what it means to these Newcastle players, and we can now hear what it means because Jacob Ramsey is with Danny Jones.
Jacob, congratulations. You didn't have to pick a good time to get your first Newcastle goal tonight, did you?
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been playing in different positions.
Offside!
Yeah, I was playing a little bit higher up.
Uh-oh,
The manager
that's it.
the
Scissors
manager
away.
that I need to get my numbers up, and thankfully I got my goal today.
Offside, still 1-0 West Ham. Haircuts off. No haircut, that's finished. Back it.
But it doesn't count.
Don't count, it's still 1-0 West Ham.
United nil. And the people in claret blue inside the London Stadium, and him by the way, that's all they're bothered about. It's Castellanos and now Jared Bowen, and that's deflected behind for a West Ham corner. I don't know whether I quite say it's fever pitch in here, but it's not far short of it.
I would suggest it might be a decibel or two just short of it.
I must say it's one of the noisier games I've been to here.
Yeah.
So the hero of the hour, Souček, going to try and make his presence felt inside the Manchester United penalty area once more. Jared Bowen, the captain, out to take the corner. What a bad corner.
It's a great corner.
The Manchester United counter is on with Brian and Duma.
Bye-bye.
He's pushing it slightly too far in front, but then the ricochet of Fernandes made it interesting. He's gone down, he took it right. As he taken in the stomach, goes it slightly lower. It's a painful one.
It's a stomach.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
mean, just looking at it, it is tighter than you think, you know, when you see it.
Yeah. Look at the reaction.
Remember the days when it wasn't quite that scientific?
I do.
So Šeško and others continue to warm up. West Ham continue to lead. Shaw on the move for Manchester United. Maguire. Give West Ham a tremendous amount of credit because the Manchester United team we saw at the weekend, popped the ball around, they found
They
space.
haven't done it though.
They've not been able to tonight,
Correct,
have they?
correct. And I keep saying how there's no gaps between the lines, defence, midfield and the forwards.
Change is coming. Lenny Yoro is preparing himself, as is Šeško. So Manchester United changes imminent. Here's Martinez. Lifted in towards Casemiro, headed away by Souček. Arriving was Bruno Fernandes. Callum Wilson's been called back to the West Ham bench as well as Maguire wins his header. Shaw. Headed away by Juve. The Manchester United substitutes are ready. Benjamin Šeško, Lenny Yoro. Here's Casemiro. Excellent work over there by Jared Bowen. I think he's going to take off Harry Maguire. And it might also be Matheus Cunha.
They've got to do something. The offside goal aside, they haven't created an awful lot, Dan.
Yeah, so there's confirmation. So Callum Wilson for Castellanos is the West Ham change. Big 20 minutes or so we've got here.
Do you know what? I mean, from West Ham's point of view, what a 3 points this would be if they can hang on. They couldn't do it against Chelsea.
Nearly fouled there by Souček. Yellow card. I think that's for, is that for Fernandes or is it for Souček? Fernandes was doing the complaining after the card was shown.
I thought it might have been Souček kicking the ball away.
Yeah. Fernandes was the yellow card. It was what he said to the referee, I think. Martinez plays it forward. Shaw trying to get it behind Bowen. Good header by the West Ham captain.
Excellent defensive work. Just sums up Jared Bowen, that.
Dallo. Now, Ahmad can have a go at Juve. He's not the easiest player to get around, but he's done well there, Ahmad. And then he's gone over, and the referee's pointed for what? The corner, is it? I think it is.
He was trying to cut across Juve there, wasn't he? He really was.
In fact, he's given the goal kick. I thought he pointed for the corner side of it.
The referee side. Well, I think he did.
He's got it right.
Oh, he's got it right.
Yeah,
100%.
Whichever way you look at it.
Absolutely, he's got it right.
So these are the scores from earlier. Newcastle winning at Tottenham Hotspur. What a big point that is for Leeds and Chelsea. And then Bournemouth winning at the Hill Dickinson Stadium against Everton. Look at that now. If Nottingham Forest win tomorrow night, they'd be level on points with Tottenham. And West Ham, as it stands, only 3 points behind them. I'm pretty sure that Tottenham's next match is against Arsenal, you know, in the North London derby in the Premier League. They're in a very, very precarious position now, Thomas Frank's team. They can't buy a win. They haven't won in 2026 in the Premier League. One thing you would say, that's exactly what Eddie Howe needed tonight as well in Newcastle. That's a big win for them. Of course it is. Bruno Fernandes on the move for Manchester United. On it goes now to Šeško. Šeško looked to pull it back. Disassi defended it. The last touch is Šeško won. The European football is back next week. Ali and I off to Azerbaijan via Istanbul for Karabakh Newcastle. After that, we'll go back to Istanbul, Koisti, on the Thursday for Fenerbahce Forest, won't we?
And we're going straight from here.
Maybe. It's quite a flight, you know. Like Crystal Palace and Celtic in action as well. The playoffs in the Champions League, the Europa League and the Conference League. So 1-0 here to West Ham. Thomas Souček has scored some big goals for them down the season, has scored another one for them here against Manchester United tonight. As we showed you though, West Ham have been the second worst team in the Premier League for dropping points from winning positions. They did it spectacularly at Stamford Bridge from 2-0 up. So can they keep Manchester United out? I mean, the indications right now are that they will. Because they've been so defensively organised so far tonight. Here's Lenny Yora. Only one attempt on target all night for Manchester United. I just think there's such a togetherness when they've not got the ball at the minute, West Ham. Here's Shaw. Bruno Fernandes to Diogo Dalot, but look at some of them sprinting forward to put pressure on the man in possession, Ali.
Properly defended as a team. The best part of 75 minutes.
Over went Brian and Bruno. Got a nudge there from Freddie Potts, but it wasn't a foul. Wilson then dispossessed by Yoro. Here's Bruno Fernandes.
That's where he's got to keep it, Wilson.
Casemiro. I must say, Disassi's had a solid game tonight, hasn't he? Alongside Mavropanos, having not played a great deal of football. Potts just able to reach that. Away by Juice, and they'll get the throw in West Ham. Say, Kirsty, with 16 minutes left, I'm starting to feel for the gentleman who needs a haircut. Just don't forget they've got to win 5 in a row. Otherwise it stays.
How do you think he felt when he heard that bar shout, what?
I never thought about that. Off goes Bowen, sprinting forward for West Ham. Wilson. Bowen. Defended over there well by Martinez, who was able to prevent the corner as well.
You know, Wilson had taken maybe a touch back at St. Martinez, he was getting a Celtic goal there. The excellent
Maynard. Fernandes. Dumo has been kept very quiet tonight. Now Casemiro. Yoro. Bruno Fernandes to Benjamin Šeško. The shot on return that was saved by Hermansen.
That's an acceptable effort. Takes it well, good ball into him. Wee touch and a shot. Good save, comfortable save again.
West Ham have got Ollie Scarles, the left-sided defender, stripped and ready down below us, so he's going to be coming on. Just wonder whether they might consider going to a back five, you know, Ali, with the extra defender on. It's something that Nuno used to do last season at Forest, if you remember, late on in games, and he got something to defend. In the meantime, here's Shaw for Manchester United. In he goes towards him, Bumo with the header. It's a situation where they want Šeško attacking it.
It's the first time Jared Bowen's just switched off a little bit with Luke Shaw going in behind him. Watch this. There it is. You've got to say, it is a very clever run from Fernandes. It takes Wan-Bissaka short, leaving the gap in behind.
They've also got Magassa ready down there as well. West Ham. Seventeen matches since they last kept a clean sheet at home. West Ham, that was against Leicester, that was last season. That's going back for Manchester United.
Just wanted Darlow to push ahead of him, wasn't he?
It's a West Ham United team that not that long ago was 7 points behind Nottingham Forest. They're going to be level with them if they can see this through. Forest play Wolves tomorrow night. That's good defending over there by Wan-Bissaka against his old club.
Boys, you're talking about back five down effective. They've got it at this moment in time with Jared Bowen playing right back with Mark and Luke Shaw.
Notice that Souček is dropping in a lot as well, isn't he?
There is a danger you can go too deep.
Yoro to Mbuma. Ahmad. Gallo. Played back in by Shaw with the offside flag. He's up. So, Sungutu, Magassa for Freddie Potts. And Ollie Scarles for Real Hati Malik Diouf.
See, at this stage, this is well done. I don't mind looking for what it does. I don't think many people will give Burnley a chance anyway, but I think this was the final nail for the Burnley.
Actually,
stay in the top flight, this result. As it is.
So a fraction more than 10 minutes to go. The London Stadium. West Ham 1, Manchester United 0.
I thought that was a free kick there on Wilson. Simon Hooper done.
Joshua Zirkzee is ready. So the forward player coming on for Manchester United.
oh my flipping god.
On for Diogo Dallo.
Just get as many forward players on there as you can, isn't he, really?
It's Magassa. Scarles. Somerville. Somerville Plays it back here to the substitute Scarles. West Ham crowd wanted to go into the box. He obliges. Running away by Shaw. Here's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. All the way back out to Somerville on this side. Against Dallow, finds a bit of room, swings in. That's a high boot. Charles Sanchez. I always feel for an attacking player there because he's entitled to go for the ball. Yeah. The defender's head is low at the same time.
I can understand your right to frustration, but every time the referee cannot take any chances. And he doesn't catch him in the face,
yeah.
But the referee, I think, possibly thinks he does.
So the change made, Xerxes, who's found goals hard to come by all season, is on for Euro. Only scored twice in 17 games. He made his first appearance under Michael Carrick against Tottenham at the weekend, and now he's off the bench for the second successive match to try and find a goal from somewhere for Manchester United. The London Stadium in full voice. Kobe Mainu. Casemiro. Now Shaw. And it goes now to Casemiro from Mainu. And Magassa trapped him all the way, the Brazilian.
He did. Covered the run, the clever run too. I think he just slipped. Does he slip? Yeah, the right foot goes underneath him, doesn't it? But excellent defensive work, Magassa.
It's not worked out by any stretch tonight for Michael Carrick and Manchester United, and all of the credit has to go to Nuno and West Ham. Shaw defending, in goes Magassa on Euro, now Mainu. Shaw. Excellent ball out to Brian Mbeumo. He can have a go at Scarles, the substitute, deliver the cross. Socek, a factor in both boxes tonight. He's not made a significant save, has he, Hermansen?
No, he's not really.
I mean, the Manchester United attempt on target before the Šeško shot was Wan-Bissaka's goal line clearance, and the shot from the sub didn't really trouble him.
Yeah. That's all. Which isn't enough, clearly.
Bruno Fernandes. 6.5 minutes of normal time to play. Matheus Fernandes fouled there by Kobe Mainu right under the nose of Simon Hooper. What about this place, by the way?
Great. I'm not sure I've heard of this.
Well, United strike.
You know something? I'm the
No haircut.
I'm not, because Mainu just switches off. I don't know whether he thinks it's a goalkeeper's ball. Take nothing away from the run and the deft touch and the finish. Brilliant.
Socek plays it back here to the assassin, now Scarles. 5.5 minutes to go. There was no stoppage time at the end of the first half. What would Nuno get for that to repeat itself? He won't.
I ain't sure that's happened.
No. Martinez,
well,
he did
well. You know, he knew Bowen was there. He didn't want it from the goalkeeper, but he knew the goalkeeper was going to give him it. He did really well. Watch, he knows he's there's a wee look. Yeah, credit when it's due. He did not want that ball from the goalkeeper, and the wee look saved him.
brilliant noise inside the the London Stadium.
There really is.
Genuine belief now for West Ham. And others getting dragged into the mire with every win they have. No harm. I mean, they look certainties, didn't they? 4 or 5 wins ago, they look certainties. Absolute certainties. You kind of looked at the bottom 3 and said, well, that's that. It's amazing the turnaround here.
There's still a bit to go, but even the game they lost, you should have taken something from Chelsea.
Soucek winning it from Leyland. There's nothing really for matches like this as well.
Oh.
Lamon's read it superb.
Took up a great position.
Here's Shaw. They're not finished yet, Manchester United. Amma. It's a poor cross.
It really is. Frustration in the United camp.
4 wins in a row. Could be about to taste defeat for the first time under Michael Carrick. Adama Traore is getting himself ready down there for West Ham. Casemiro to Bruno Fernandes. Brian and Bruno, it's a lovely ball, and Bruno keeps his feet and shoots. That's a vital ball. Was it Soucek again?
Okay, he's been all over the place. He has been all over the place. Comes off his shoulder, doesn't it? I mean, it can go anywhere once it hits there, but he's done ever so well.
He's the match winner so far for West Ham, Thomas Soucek. 2.5 minutes of the 90 to go. Manchester United corner, which is taken by Brian and Bruno. Hermanson wants it to be his and punches the ball away. Here's Ahmad. They've all stayed forward for United. In goes the ball, and Hermanson needed to spring. It might well have been going wide, but he couldn't take the chance.
I think it comes off a defender. I think it comes off Fernandes there. He did well to react.
So Walker Peters is also going to be coming on. So Bowen gets there first for West Ham. 2 minutes to go. Ahmad gets back to win it for Manchester United. Martinez onto Joshua Zirkzee. Mavropanos with the foot in. Again, from the Greek defender. Bowen fighting for the cause, but it's got enough for a throw. I've never heard this place like that.
I'm laughing because there's 15,000 West Ham fans right in front of me, reckon they had a better view than the linesman who was 2 feet away.
So Walker Peters for Somerville, and I know you've enjoyed his energy tonight.
I really have. I know he hasn't on his score sheet, but very, very impressed again.
And they're taking off Jared Bowen as well. And I know for a fact you've enjoyed everything about his performance too.
He's been terrific. He's just a terrific footballer. I love everything he does.
So Traore on as a sub for the 3rd successive match, having signed from Fulham. We're well into the final minute of normal time. Tim Robinson's about to tell us how much longer there will be, and we're hearing it's going to be 7 minutes, Alex. 7 nervous minutes. Casemiro.
7 fucking minutes.
Was he pushed in the back by Adama Traore? He wasn't.
No.
He could lay there all he likes. Here's Maynard. Fernandes. Maynard to Zirkzee. Martinez. There's confirmation for 7 minutes from Tim Robinson. That's gone down like a lead balloon, by the way. Bruno Fernandes right into Newcastle. Off goes Callum Wilson. Charging forward for West Ham. Newcastle's up.
Go on, Cal. Square it. Oh, square it.
mean, I thought initially York still went earlier, but to be fair to him, he did see, I think it was Magassa coming with a late run, and he had to hold his ground, so fair play to him.
So Mateus Fernandes to take the corner. All West Ham need is possession. 6 minutes of additional time remain. Back in by Magassa, that's straight through to Senat Lamens. Manchester United have got to get on with it. West Ham United just need a bit more defensive resolve. Xerxes, Ahmad. Now Bruno Fernandes. Xerxes played it on, Souček was in the way. We'll get the player of the match in a minute, but I'm pretty confident about where it's going. Here's Magassa. Still going,
Yes.
Magassa. Traore up against Euro.
Ah!
Brilliant defending again. It is. Fair play to them, because they were wide open. They cut right through them, West Ham. Magassa does a lovely ball at Traore. Lenny Yora knows again he's got Callum Wilson behind him, but he has to face some of the danger. Does really well, it comes across.
They're absolutely laying in the West Ham fans, aren't they?
Sure they should.
Why wouldn't you? What a job he's done. Trying to keep it by the corner here, West Ham. It's with Mateus Fernandes. Ali, what about the player of the match? I think I know where you're going.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I'll get here alive if I don't give it to Thomas Souček.
Nor do I.
I've got to give him it. He's been outstanding. I have enjoyed some of them. There has been some good performances. The game's taken a little bit of time to get going, but Souček, dear me.
He's epitomised the West Ham performance.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Just wide by Xerxes. So close to an
Right.
equaliser. It really is, but do you know something, Dan? How often do we see it? West Ham have been defending the 18-yard
United
box
fans
all
probably
night,
cousin is
and they've
over.
been doing it ever so well, and all of a sudden they're dropped back, they're in their own 6-yard box. That's an excellent header. He is so unlucky. He gets up above the sass, and he's so unlucky.
Did you see the yes of Ferguson?
Yes, I did. And do you know who was right next to him if it came off the post? Souček.
Yeah. Look at her face.
Oh, that was close. He was unlucky, Xerxes there, I have to say.
There are prayers being offered among those in claret and blue.
That's a free kick. I can't believe he's not getting a free kick there. And they're like in the West Ham fans.
Still over 3 minutes of additional time. There's still work for West Ham to do, but they're so close to 3 massive Premier League points, which puts that pressure back on shore, guys, in Forest tomorrow night against West Ham. It starts to worry those Tottenham supporters as well. And Wilson's through.
Wilson! Jesus Christ. Offside.
You can see it. You can see it. He doesn't, he's got to hold his run. He has to hold his run.
The first half was terrible. The second half's been fantastic entertainment. That Paul Atman never had his hands with again.
Oh, dear me.
Sometimes you make a bet, you wish you'd never done it.
He must be going through about a grand a week of shampoo, that.
Martinez. 2 minutes to go. Ahmad. Brian Buma. Benjamin Sesko right at the death to break the heart of Nuno Espirito Santo. What a finish!
Oh, you've called it. You have called it. It is a quite remarkable finish. As good as you'll see, they're devastated. That finish, it's the only place you can put it. He just needs to get a touch on it and try and direct it to goal. Darren, it is unbelievable. his foot, and it flies into the top corner. What a goal!
That's an astonishing finish.
One more to get your hair cut.
That's as good as anything you'll see tonight, I'm telling you. What a finish that is.
7th goal for Manchester United for Benjamin Šeško, and it changes the picture at the bottom of the table. They've had chances as well, West Ham, haven't they, to put the game away. Can somebody find a winner? Traore. Scarles. Traore to go at Brian and Burma. Finds a way through. Runs into Casemiro. Ex-Real Madrid against ex-Barcelona down there. Casemiro smashes the ball forward. Šeško started to run. Disasi won the header. Here's Xerxes. On it goes now to Lamat. Surely not. Manchester United looking for a winner. And that bursting in. Pulls it. Tremendous defending in there by Wan-Bissaka.
Well, we'll have a little bit of a moan at half-time, you and I, with some justification. But has this made up for it or what?
Yoro sends it forward. Walker Peters will see it out. I mean, we're at the discretion of Simon Hooper now. Nuno knows what a big goal that was to concede.
What a goal that was, honestly. There's only one place you can put it, and he's got to flick. What a finish.
It's the Manchester United supporters you can hear now in what's been a raucous London stadium for the majority of this second half. And there is the full-time whistle.
Wow.
And for so long tonight, West Ham United...
No haircut.